YouTube has live streaming?
Yeah, I used to only stream to Twitch, but now I switched over to YouTube because so many people didn't bother going to Twitch from my YouTube channel.
Oh.
Like, you basically should stay where you start.
Yeah.
And I started on YouTube, so I'd rather stay on YouTube.
Yeah. Are we living now?
Yeah, it's live. I highly doubt. See, there we are. I don't think anyone's gonna join right away though. I'll open up raid call. Part of this is just because I want to be because this is all gonna get archived. Like this is gonna stay uploaded on YouTube later. But I just want this to. I don't want it to just be black screen while we wait. Why isn't
Tim, I noticed there's a lag here.
Yeah. There's always a lag on the like. This is. Hello, Michael Breckshot. Yeah, there's a lag between streaming and the actual output. That's always the case.
But the audio's fine.
Yeah. Everything is in sync over here, and then like this is OBS over on this monitor, and then on this monitor, this is what everyone is actually seeing. That's how far behind we are.
Oh, that's all right.
So see, there's already people in raid call, but we're not gonna talk to them just yet. It actually says no one's watching, even though someone's already commented. Michael Breckshot already commented.
Yep.
Am I the only one here? Possibly, Michael. There's people in raid call, but we're not going to talk to them right yet. This is one of my two best friends, Ed. He just saw the movie yesterday, and we're gonna be talking about episode 7 all day, or not all day, a few hours though, probably at least an hour.
There's a lot to talk about.
I know. Actually, I was thinking of. Hello, Rickster. I was thinking of making a list of every single topic I wanted to cover in this live stream, and then in my head I started writing it, and I never actually wrote it down. But it was like every single minor thing was gonna have a little bit of discussion about it.
Well, there's a lot of things. I have some things I'm really, really excited. There were some parts that I absolutely loved and was laughing out loud. I really, really want to talk about.
See, there was some stuff I was liking too, but there was so much I wasn't liking. But that's neither here nor there. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear both of us okay? Cool. Nick is not going to show up because Nick hasn't seen the movie yet.
Well, this has lots and lots of spoilers.
Yeah, this
right?
is... I'm not streaming Battlefront today, Michael. This is... Oh, shoot. I didn't rename the live stream. 7 discussion / review live stream.
Do you want to...
I might shut the stream offline real quick. Entertainment. Time to talk about this thing that happened. That's a good description.
Do you want to put spoiler warning, or it doesn't matter?
Oh, yes. I was gonna... Spoilers. Now I want... If YouTube hasn't updated this... Wow, there's 6 people watching, apparently. See, there's my little live icon.
Oh.
Alright, so... Before we get started, I just wanted to show off this amazing coat my girlfriend got me for Christmas. She got me the Star-Lord coat and a pair of headphones to go with it, so I can look like Star-Lord all the time now, which I think is like super cool.
I think it's pretty awesome. Tim, do you want to...
Unfortunately, it's like the only cool thing I got for Christmas, though.
Oh. I still need to get you something for Christmas. Well, maybe in this discussion I'll figure out what I'm going to get you. I don't care about the actual days.
I mean, you were going to get Alvin a full laptop, and then that turned out to not be a good idea.
I mean, maybe it will be when we meet him. I mean, if he actually is willing to play Civilization with us, if I buy him a laptop.
Yeah, that's true. I've actually been thinking about streaming our games of Civ 4 eventually, but I don't want to just do it out of the blue, and I almost did it without telling you guys, and I'm like, nah, I would tell them that I was going to stream them talking. Plus it's fun to just have bro time and just hang out.
We could do both, I think, because well, there's some things we wouldn't want to talk about if we're streaming it live. But
hello, David Figueroa.
The other thing is that are we going to have reloads? No, we have to have the reloads.
Yeah, we have to. We can't not have reloads in Civ 4.
Yes.
It's too easy to just lose in Civ 4.
Because it's like based off the real world, like real history. It's like
we don't want history to say that we lost. We want history to say that we won. So
Yes.
we're gonna ditch history and time travel if history isn't on our side.
Exactly. Though compared to a single player game where you load all the time, we actually do it fair. We actually fairly kind of accept our decisions for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, well, I mean, what do we accept? We like if settler dies, that's a load.
Yeah. Early on, if a settler dies. Later on, it's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, well,
Early game.
no, almost always, because usually if we're setting up settlers, it's either early time in Terra or New World, and in New World we need the settlers to monopolize the New World and not let other people get there.
Okay, you're right. So settler dying is a reload.
I wonder if there's a way to reuse the map we had. What if there's a way?
Well, I can almost.
I wonder if we
wouldn't
can
mind doing
change
it.
the settings to shut off random events in
can
our
look at
current game, because that would be so much more fun than starting, because that game's going so well.
It was. Well for you guys. No, it's going well for me too. It's going well for me. But it's gonna get to New World.
Yeah. All right, I guess we should get started. I don't know how. I'm sure there's not a lot of people watching, but we don't want to wait until people show up. So I guess we'll get started. So, okay, so this whole live stream is supposed to be talking about and discussing episode 7 and reviewing it. I promised I would do this video over a week ago. Let me tilt this down a little bit because I'm slouched in my chair and I don't want to. And I never actually did it because I was right after I saw it. Me and another friend of mine were like, "Oh, we'll review the movie on Monday this week," and then she couldn't do it. So I was like, well, I'll just live stream it on Wednesday, and then on Wednesday we played Civ, and I was like, I'd rather play Civ than live stream this. And then today it's like, okay, Saturday, normal live stream day. I have to live stream seeing what I saw and what I thought of it. I guess, okay, Ed, so let's start with the Twitter review. Like, what would you, if you had 140 characters or a few words, what is your review of episode 7?
Quick review is that it episode 7 recaptures the style of the original and starts a new cool plot line. It is a worthy successor, though not necessarily like the 100% best in the series.
Okay, that's reasonable. I would call it crushingly disappointing, depressingly unoriginal, and compared to the expanded universe, a heartbreaking disappointment.
That's a very, very harsh criticism.
Yeah, I would say there are few good things in the movie and so many things that were done wrong and could have been done better that I just was so sad.
I feel like, no, granted, they
Here.
were trying.
No, go ahead.
J.J. Abrams was trying to he wasn't. I mean, he was trying to recapture the exact cinematic style of the original, down to using cinematic techniques that are actually outdated by today's standards, to recapture the same spirit and magic of the originals, which I loved. I thought as it was almost like someone's trying to. It's almost like someone in the modern day saying, "Man, I love Shakespeare. No one makes movies. No one writes plays like Shakespeare. Let me write something in the Shakespearean style." And that was like a play I saw recently about King George and Queen Elizabeth. And this is almost just like that. Someone's like, "No one makes movies like the original Star Wars movies. Let me copy this old school cinematic style, write a plot in that style, and then." And then try to capture all those themes and homages with a new storyline and characters and cute merchandising galore, and it just worked on me totally.
Okay,
but there are some flaws.
Here's my counter to that argument, though, because Lucas is not that good of a filmmaker. We can all agree on this, but you can see how Lucas made the original trilogy in a certain style because of technological limitations, and you saw what he did when he had the technology. Yeah, the prequels had terrible writing and everything, but at least there we go. That's better. But at least he used the technology. You could see, some of it looked fake. Yeah. A lot of it looked fake even. But he tried to use the technology to make the world bigger than it could have physically been when it was just models. And then we go back to, it's almost cheating. It's practical effects, but so much of that was CGI. But it's like, if it is going to be CGI, why not do so much more with
So
it?
you think in the modern movie, because they were trying so much to capture the cinematic style of the originals, that even though they had all this technology in CGI, they're like, we're going to intentionally try to tone it down so it like gives
Which
people
is
nostalgia.
but that's a fine idea.
Yeah.
But it's like intentionally limiting yourself.
Well,
Todd Solo changed the name to Ben. Okay, David Figueroa. I don't know what you're talking about,
well,
and that's something we're going to talk about later. But
okay. So just as an initial commentary, we're making, we're saying that in the first, so we're saying that the in the new Star Wars movie, we can both agree that it is apparent that they actually, like, from a technological point of view, on some level, were less special effects, less
Michael Hall.
stuff than the prequels. Like, they tried
Like,
to decrease the level of
here's
special
what I've
effects.
said a lot since I saw the movie.
Yeah.
The prequels aren't good, but at least in the prequels, you feel like the galaxy is huge. Like, you see the Senate Hall, and it's like, oh my god, that's like thousands upon thousands of worlds of millions of people. There are trillions of people in this republic. Hello, Sam Waller. And you just don't get a sense of that. I'm
Oh,
good, Sam.
You mean they tried rather
they-
than expanding the scope,
They shrunk the
it.
scope so much. This movie feels so tiny and compact compared to the prequels. This feels like such a small movie, which I think is a big. Hello, Alice. I think that that's a real letdown because, like, the Death Star in the original trilogy, it's like the Death Star is this big ominous thing. It's like, wow, that could go anywhere, and it destroyed Alderaan, and it was like parked over Alderaan, and Leia watched Alderaan explode, and that was huge. In this one, it's just kind of, oh, we have a super Death Star. Oh, they just fired a big laser. You could literally see it from a planet go across, and then it split and blew up a bunch of planets. Like, to me, that makes it feel like this is all taking place in one tiny solar system. There's like the opening crawl, and they mention a couple times the Republic secretly funding the Resistance for no apparent reason. They can't fight the New Order that has a super Death Star, but like I didn't feel like there's no sense of scale there.
That's true. The movie does feel smaller. I think part of the reason they're doing that is because J.J. Abrams wanted so much to recapture the feel of A New Hope. And A New Hope, because it was the first time it was there, it didn't necessarily feel super big. I mean, it felt like there was a big galaxy, but in Star Wars A New Hope, you kind of had it like it was the first movie, so there was only so much going on. And this movie wanted so much to recapture the style and feel of A New Hope that they're like, let's keep the story simple, let's keep the action only in a few areas, and I think that definitely did come across. And I
Like,
think, yeah.
Like, to me, so much of it was so forced. Like, the Republic secretly funds the Resistance, but instantly that doesn't make any sense. Not even from an expanded universe fan point of view.
It's like, why
you're
would
saying 30 years later the Empire was defeated at Endor, which it wasn't. But let's say, for the sake of this, in this storyline, the Empire was defeated and the New Republic was established. In 30 years, the planet size, we're gonna get there, Alice. Don't worry. We're gonna cover everything in depth in this review thing, and then we're gonna go into Raid Call and talk about it more. Oh God! Now I totally lost my place. What was I talking about?
You were talking about if they were defeated at Endor.
Oh yeah. So the Empire was this galaxy-spanning threat, and they built the Death Star. If this First Order built a super Death Star, why can the Republic not fight them? What is stopping the Republic from fighting him?
So I think I would give this analogy, and this is something I thought while I was watching this, because I remember you had mentioned, but before I saw the movie, this whole idea of how it's kind of ridiculous that the Republic is funding like this resistance militia, and I think, like, in the wake of the whole Syria conflict, I have to assume that everything's just a mess and the Republic was a weak government and there's that like the whole universe is like one big Syria.
But they talk about the Republic fleet. They're like, oh, we need the Republic fleet here to destroy this super Death Star.
One thing I actually think this movie did, which maybe was a mistake, but was I felt like whereas the prequels went way too much into the intergalactic politics, this one almost has not enough intergalactic politics. Like,
But it,
oh yeah, the
yeah.
Republic.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah, this
absolutely.
one like it's like because there's almost, and that's the problem because what you're describing is there's a lack of context.
Yeah,
it's
there's
like, what's
no
this resistance? Like, is it militia?
Because the first story, the first trilogy was about. You didn't need context because it was Luke's growing up story. In this, there's no sense of that because it starts out so big and grand, and then it's like trying to push it back into the bottle. I feel like JJ was trying to force this movie back into, like, he's trying to, like, Star Wars has been growing, and he's like pushing it back, and it's like that's not what I want anymore. And starting out on this giant scale of like there's this battle going on that makes no sense. Like, it is similar to Episode 4 where they attack Leia and you don't understand why, and then it cuts to Luke. But in this, you cut to a stormtrooper on a Star Destroyer who's fighting all this stuff, and he just casually throws away all of his devotion to the Empire in his first battle for no real reason other than he feels bad. There's no sense of context. Like, you see Luke, and you even just in 5 minutes can feel how Luke is isolated on this farm, bored and alone, and his whole attitude conveys that. Instantly, this stormtrooper is done with fighting after his first battle, and he's just gone.
So you're saying that whereas in the first movie, they actually, even though the first movie had kind of like
the same structure,
it developed.
They developed the character's initial state so much more effectively so quickly.
So the first movie did a much better job of introducing you to the characters and letting you know how the characters feel, and it didn't need to like spend a ton of time. It was like you could just see that first shot of Luke, or the shot of Luke in the desert looking around and the emotions, whereas the stormtrooper character just suddenly becoming a good guy, it just felt like they were forcing the plot. So
Rey is actually more well established because you can feel that she is this person. Rey, I feel like, is a decent character. She's the Luke. She's on Tatooine, but then there's Finn, who's just a stormtrooper, and it's like
maybe there could have been an establishing scene that really makes. But what about the part with like the blood? You know, he sees
that was so over the top.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, you're telling me a stormtrooper, this elite corps of stormtroopers, has never been in, like, an intense training simulation or anything like that? Like, the whole reason we have intense military training is because people need to be exposed to this before they're put on the front lines.
So
that people don't just crack under pressure like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the Empire's a big bureaucracy. His commander is a total bitch.
Yeah, but, okay.
Maybe
if you want to talk about Captain Phasma, talk about an underutilized character. All the promotional stuff showed this badass silver stormtrooper walking around, you know, like, oh, I'm tough, I'm the girl, I'm the kick-ass stormtrooper lady. And then they did nothing with her. She did nothing.
But see, I think the whole idea behind Captain Phasma, and this is basically she was actually one of my favorite. I feel like she was underutilized, but I loved the way her plot line, because essentially the plot line is Captain Phasma sucks, she's mean, she's a bitch, and then he finally gets to overpower her, and he gets off on it so much in the theater. I just started laughing because you see the stormtrooper character now overpowering this woman who he hated, who was overpowering him, who was totally awful, and he's like, now I'm in control, and he's like, you could just watch that and you're like, oh my god, he must be like in heaven right now, and that one scene is like actually.
And you know what? That's a bit of character development that is earned, because they see her being like overbearing, like, get out of the ship, turn in your blaster rifle, and blah blah blah, like all this stuff, and like.
But yeah,
I'll freely admit that was one of the kind of good things. I was fine with that.
I'm surprised feminists wouldn't get mad about that, because that character.
Oh, I'm sure they would.
Because that character is basically portrayed like the classic office bitch ice queen getting her comeuppance thing. Like, that was very blatant in the plot line. Captain Phasma.
Hello, Syndros. I'm sure that Ed. I mean, like,
Yeah.
in the way the internet works these days, everyone gets mad about everything. Like, of course, there's going to be the people who get mad at Star Wars for every dumb little thing. Like, that's
But okay, so Captain Phasma was underutilized, but her comeuppance was a great piece of character development for Finn.
I also think Leia was oh God, that's a
Oh,
new
you
soccer ball. That's a good point, Alice. I will say one of the things I liked that I didn't think I would like was BB-8. They played around with his little ball form thing. He was cute, rolling around and making little beepy noises. And they actually utilized him for funny little jokes where he's like rolling around in the Falcon and like being tossed around. And when he extends out all those little grapper arms, I was like, okay, you actually kind of earned that. That was actually pretty decent. I thought this was going to be a dumb little droid gimmick. And I still don't think it's a sensible design, but they explained they actually justified some of its weaknesses. Like they were like, okay, we took this into account that it's a stupid little design, and we made reasons why it's reasonable. And I liked that.
I thought BB-8 was great. I think he was another cute droid. His interactions with R2-D2 and C-3PO were funny.
I think it was so lame at the end. That was such a cheat that R2 just has the entire rest of the map.
Well, they foreshadowed it though.
But that was so dumb. What was the point of that?
The point was that they wanted to not have to worry about that plot point until the end.
Like, I feel like that ending... Syndros, we're going to come into raid call later. Is hot or is it... No, the new Rey is attractive. Yeah.
Rey's
no,
a
but
good
I'm going to
character.
go into raid call later, Syndros. We're doing initial me and Ed discussion, and then we're going to go into raid call in a little bit.
So, but so you're saying the whole like plot point of R2-D2 suddenly having the map at the end. It's like
It's such a lazy cheat.
There are definitely lazy cheats in this. There's a lot of like
There's a
conveniences.
lot of
The
conveniences.
thing like he's like, oh, we don't know how to shut off the shield generator. We're just having to take Captain Phasma hostage, which is one of my favorite scenes. But it's
that was funny that he lied about knowing how to do it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we just know how to do everything. He's like, I was in sanitation, dude.
Yeah,
Like, that's it.
There were some good art parts. So just going one thing back to the beeping noises in the droid. One thing I thought was funny was in this version they made fun of the whole idea from the original movies that the characters speak in English and the aliens speak in their language and they understand each other. When he was like, "Oh, I don't understand the beeping," like when Finn was like, "I don't know how to beep."
Well, I don't understand. Okay.
Or do maybe that
Oh,
wasn't
God.
good?
We're not even going to talk about Kylo Ren yet. But I
Yeah.
agree with you, Alice. I don't understand how someone who's a scavenger can speak droid. I think it's kind of silly how many people can understand droid beeps. That's a little ridiculous.
I accept it as part of the universe. People are multilingual. There's a lot of
Like,
different...
Luke didn't understand it, and he was... You could argue that he has more reason to be around droids than Rey did.
Oh, C-3PO had to translate the droid beeps, right?
C-3PO translated R2 in the first movie
No,
for
but
Luke.
later he learned the droid beeps, like on when he went to
Sure, but at his age on Tatooine, when he worked around droids all the time, he didn't understand
But
it.
in Empire Strikes Back, he probably learned it. We're assuming
Sure,
by the Empire.
but I'm saying Rey, how did she know it on Tatooine? How does she know how to speak droid? She's a scavenger. You can't imagine she's found a lot of fully functional droids on crashed Star Destroyers in her lifetime.
Maybe her adoptive parents taught her droid when she was younger. They
Oh
beeped
my
her when she was
God.
a kid. I'm just joking. But So it's just kind of speaking with the movie. So just your overall conclusion, Tim, though, is that so just to kind of summarize kind of our two perspectives. So so there's a Twitter review. So my perspective, it was very good. I think there's some flaws and mistakes, but overall, I think that it captured the spirit and had a lot of great elements. Whereas,
And I think it was a very disappointing reboot of Episode 4 that almost everything was a minor mistake. Like, here, let's go through a bunch of things I thought were minor mistakes. The lightsaber noise sounded... this is so nitpicky, and I don't care. The lightsaber noise was so disappointing to me. Because to me, lightsaber noises are always the... like, this thing just appears and is solid. You know what I mean? Like, that is a solid noise. This is just like...
really, I didn't notice. I guess that's a small piece to notice.
But it's, again, this is the kind of thing I can't help but notice.
Gotcha. What do you think of?
I did like how the lightsabers were kind of flickery and unstable, especially Kylo Ren's. Like, that's actually cool. Especially, I mean, I have to kind of say that, considering my artwork, the Timpedia artwork that has the flaming lightsabers. Like I've kind of liked that style for a long time.
What do you think of the little bars, like the broadsword
What do you
bars?
think? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
If you think I wasn't gonna nitpick the crap out of this movie, you're ridiculous, because everyone who watches me should know just how much I love Star Wars and the expanded universe. Like, why would I not nitpick this?
No.
Why would I not be the person who notices all of these things? You know people are going to notice it. Of course I'm going to be one of those people because this is what I do. Let's see, what else? It was cool that Kylo Ren could stop a blaster bolt. I think that's ridiculous because I can't think of anyone who has such control over the Force that they can stop something at the speed of light.
So it's one thing
There's
to
never
be able
been
to reflect, yeah.
there's one thing to be able to, like, Vader just holds it up. Vader's power that he used was basically he kind of put up a shield on his hand. Kylo Ren grabbed light. I mean, yeah, it's like an energy blast kind of thing, but that's like
That doesn't make
that's
sense.
a little too much.
So it's like
It was cool looking, but And the sidebars weren't. How were the sidebars to vent extra energy from the unstable crystal? That doesn't
The
sound.
sidebars were just to make it look like a broadsword. 'Cause
Yeah.
it looked cool.
Yeah, it was a cross guard. That's all it was. It was not. Syndros, we can't do magic today. Me and Ed are busy after this. But let's see. Okay, so I'm bouncing all over the place. I know, but that's exactly what this review is going to be. So let me go. Let's take it from the top.
Let's take it from
The movie starts. The Star Destroyer looks cool. I like the new design. I think that's reasonable. I didn't have any major problems with it. The new blasters look cool. Kylo Ren's mask looks pretty silly.
And there's no reason for him to be wearing the mask since he can breathe fine normally.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like, Vader had the mask. Malik had the mask because of his jaw was gone.
Yeah.
Revan wore it because he was a fallen. You know what? I guess you could say he's basically the.
Well, no. Okay, so the reason he wears the mask is because he's obsessed with Vader. He wears the mask for the same reason that when I was playing KOTOR, I put a poison guard breather on my Dark Jedi Sith character for no reason except that it looked cool and I want him to look like a Sith. And Kylo Ren, the character, is like Vader wore a breathing mask and spoke.
Well, it's
like,
also. I would
should wear one.
I would also say Revan, because Revan was a fallen Jedi. You could also use it as trying to distance himself from his.
Oh, to depersonalize himself.
Depersonalize his old life. Like, you're trying to step away from your old life, and you're basically hiding who you used to be. Like, you're like, I am now Kylo Ren. This is my identity. I am now Revan. This is my identity. I'm no longer who I used to be when I was just my face.
So the mask
this is
makes
my
sense.
new. It's like, it's not even saying I'm wearing a mask. It's like, this is my new face.
That's fine. I think that explanation makes sense. So I don't mind the mask. I thought the mask was cool. Anyway. And the fact that he had to breathe hard in it too was funny too.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had
How
the
he
voice
struggled
thing.
to breathe a little bit.
It reminds me of Dark Helmet. He's like, I can't breathe in this thing.
I did like how, I guess we'll finally talk about Kylo Ren, since he's pretty much in the start of the movie. Oh, the new shuttle design looks silly.
Oh, like the new Imperial
The
shuttle.
big wing thing.
Well, you would think. I feel like they were using a lot of old equipment, but yeah, I mean, you didn't really.
But why? No,
don't you
they
think
weren't
that
using
they're-
old equipment.
they were
They
using
were
new equipment?
using. That's why the lightsabers. Oh well, that's well. I'm all. Who? That's weird. That's a silly reason to have those cross guards because okay. Protoss Rock just said that's why the lightsaber's unstable. Wikipedia states the crystal was fractured and unstable. If it weren't for the vents, it probably would have damaged the saber. That might be the technical reason, but you know the only reason they did it was to look cool. Because they wanted to do an edgy new lightsaber design.
Yeah,
And
that looked
who?
like a broadsword.
Okay, if he randomly got a red crystal, can't he just make a new crystal? Sith crystals, red lightsaber crystals are all synthetically made. That means Kylo Ren did a crap job of making his lightsaber crystal, so just make a new one.
Well, you could believe that. I guess he did a crap job of it, but
Yeah,
no,
Revan acquired his mask from a Mandalorian that he slaughtered to make up for a race, but that's not... I'm saying he wore it as Revan because he was also no longer a Jedi, kind of. But anyway, Kylo Ren. What a bitch. He is. I hate his act. The guy's acting is fine, but
That's the way the character is written. You're saying.
yeah, and the actor did a good job, but I think they went way too much for the boy band look. Like he has the long kind of emo, like the all the girls want to hug him and make him feel better kind of look, like the feel bad, the pity me look. He's got the pity me long hair. Oh, I'm such a lost and edgy dark child goth kid. I don't know what
You're
I
right.
want to
They
do
did
in
go
the
for that
world.
goth thing, and I knew the actor who played him. Adam Driver was from the HBO show Girls, and the whole movie I forgot. I know that guy. Where's he from? And I remembered, but he's from the hipster show Girls, so it's like he's not much in a sci-fi star, but you're right. So I thought he was acted well, but
And it was like seeing him get really angry and just smash up
yeah,
a
that's
console.
true. I was like, wow, this guy cannot control himself.
Yeah, like I'm fine with him having that, but like so much he just is like, Dad, I need your help. Like,
You're right. I think
there was so much of him being like he seems like the boy band Sith Lord.
So
I know he's not a Sith. This has been established. He's a Dark Jedi. He's not a Sith. This New Order is not the Sith, even though they just are. Yeah, actually looking young for his age is a decent thing. Yeah, that inspires by Vader's. Yeah. He was, which is a kind of a cool angle. He wants to just be Vader, but I don't know. So much around Kylo is also a problem because like Han and Leia, like. Actually, okay, so this is... I know we're bouncing all over the place. That's what this review is going to be. It's going to be, like, bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Kylo 10 for angstiest teen. That's a good way to put it. He is Jason Solo light. That's part of why Kylo Ren is so depressing. But Jason Solo was also a much more earned character.
See, okay, Kylo Ren definitely. I felt like the way he was.
He
written,
sounds like the pampered rich kid who just goes to the dark side because
probably
he's trying to
was.
be edgy.
He was.
He's
He
just a
basically-
teenage rebel.
He is. He's a teenager.
His whole character is he's the teenage rebel.
Exactly, because what else? Because he's like what his parents were like probably uncool, and then he like got into the dark
See, but
side.
like this is okay. So now we're getting into the territory of where I thought the EU did such a better job, such a more interesting job. In the books, Han and Leia are sort of together, and then Leia is going to make a political marriage, and Han basically swoops and kidnaps her, and they get married because of it, and they end up having two twins and a third son, a boy, a girl twin, and a third son. Kylo is basically a ripoff of the twin son Jason. He has the same thing where he falls to the dark side and basically steals control of the at that point the successor to the New Republic, the Galactic Alliance, and almost kills his parents and falls to the dark side and has to be killed by his twin sister. And that's so much more interesting to me than this kid. And Han and Leia are just kind of like reset to episode 4. They had a kid. They were maybe married, but they just separated because they couldn't keep it together because Han got antsy, which is discussed in the books. But Han overcomes this and basically dedicates himself to being with Leia and the kids because he loves them. And Leia isn't just a Force sensitive. Luke gives her some training because she is not a Jedi, which is fine. In the movie, she's not a Jedi. That's okay. But her kids are all Jedi, and Kylo was a Jedi. But he just kind of... Oh, God, I feel like everything I say is just bringing me into more things I want to talk about because, like that's all about that. But then you also have the thing... Luke pisses me off in this movie because Luke was just like, oh, I failed. I better just totally give up. The galaxy doesn't need Jedi.
Well, that isn't very Luke
I better
character.
just...
Yeah.
Exactly. Luke... Like, you're telling me the Supreme Leader, a Palpatine clone, but just a bit deformed and unruly. Yeah, the dumb new leader was so stupid.
I thought the Imperial, the First Order
Could
general,
kill Han.
the new First Order
That's
general
funny.
who was Hitler-like in that one scene. He
My
was great,
God.
even though he was so cheesy and overacted.
So over the top.
He's like, oh, we're going to take over everything, and just screaming.
His screaming.
But
Okay, also,
Yeah?
the Death Star, the Super Death Star, what the heck is the point of building of surface to that planet. The entire planet is artificial, which they never talk about. That was an artificial construct.
Oh,
None of that was a real planet.
Oh, I thought they took a real planet and like modified
Are you telling me? So you're telling me they hollowed out an entire planet?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
That's what it is to me. Either they hollowed out an entire planet, which is so ridiculous and impossible that it's crazy, or they built another Death Star, a Star Killer base. Yes, I know that's the name technically. Yeah, and Mara's gone. No, she is gone. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, General Hitler. Yeah, General Hitler. He was so cheesy and overacted. But one thing I loved about the Hitler character is that he pushed Kylo Ren around. It's like, here's like a Vader-esque Dark Jedi, and this guy's just some badass general who's totally human, non-force. And he's like, yeah, I'm in charge here. I'm like the general.
Oh, hey, Scumpy. Oh, right, you're on your... Okay. He was guilty of Kylo's turning in exile. No, but he wasn't guilty of Kylo's turning. It was not his fault. Kylo just became enamored with Vader, and as we said, probably was just like...
Probably joined with the
He was a rebel. He was just the teen rebel. And Luke's character in the movies, I would say in the original trilogy, but also definitely in the expanded universe, was never going to give up. Luke had so many students fall to the dark side in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
The entire... Not in the original trilogy, in the books.
Expanded universe, yeah.
There are so many situations of Luke pulling people back from the dark side. He himself is pulled back from the dark side. At one point, the Emperor is resurrected as a clone, and Luke tries to infiltrate him and falls to the dark side, and Leia pulls him back. And yet you're telling me Luke has one class of Jedi. His nephew somehow kills all of them after falling to the dark side, and Luke just throws up his hand and is like, well, clearly this is a Yoda situation where I just have to give up and go into exile.
So there are people, there's this theory
Don't try to find more Jedi. More Force users aren't being born in the galaxy or anything.
I think we need to wait for the next movie before we truly judge Luke's character.
No. Totally no. Because clearly Kylo has been on the dark side for a while.
There are people. My brother has the theory that it's actually Kylo is a double agent the whole time.
No, he would never just kill Han if he was a double agent.
No, maybe that makes it even more powerful. Kylo's a double agent. Oh, who's always been for the light side this whole time.
No, because they clearly established he's struggling with the light.
Okay.
If he was a double agent, he would never have the scene where he goes to the Supreme Leader and is like, "Please help me. I'm falling to the light side again. I'm going back. The light is drawing me. Please help me finish my training and go to the dark side completely." No double agent would do that. The double agent would be like, "I have to just be angry. A double agent would have more control."
Okay, never mind. So the double agent
Luke would never
theory...
go into exile if there was a double agent.
That's true.
That especially doesn't make sense if Luke is in exile. He would only go into exile because he's actually thinks he failed.
Okay, I take back the double agent.
Which he did, but it doesn't even matter.
No, but
someone said it did. How do you think it can get its stars? Sorry, I'm kind of reminds me of the Halo rings. Why does the First Order keep building super weapons with giant weak spots? See, they didn't, but of course they just did. Like, you have to... That was another ridiculous thing. Why is it so easy to blow up the Super Death Star?
Well, because it's very unstable.
In the books, they establish that it's ridiculous. There is a specific line that Jason Solo, basically the Kylo Ren of the expanded universe, says. He's like, in this world, 30 years later or 40 years later, we are in a world where there are no weak spots. There is no more Luke Skywalker blow up the magic weak point kind of thing. He specifically has that line.
But this one didn't necessarily... It was less of a weak spot than the one hole you have to get the photon torpedo.
But there was a trench run.
They essentially had a trench run, but I felt like...
All it was he blew up a dome and he flew inside and fired some missiles and left.
So it still was fairly weak for being a super weapon.
Yes.
That was another thing they should do. So this movie with J.J. Abrams, the guys making it, were so like, of course we're going to reference A New Hope. Probably when the writers were sitting around, they're like, okay, so what's going to be the plot? And they're like, well,
we're going to make the New Hope plot.
Weapon. We have to have a super weapon that they blow up through some kind of MacGuffin, right?
That's why, you know what? I would say that's why Episode 5 is one of the best, if not the best, because there is no super weapon. It's just characters. There is no big, bad, evil thing we gotta blow up. These people are fighting for their lives and for freedom.
Okay. No, I understand.
Like, this is like... Hello, Victor. This is just... We're back to having super weapons where there's this super big, bad thing. There's not an organization, it's just the Super Death Star. And I'm gonna
Yes.
keep calling it that. I know it's called Star Killer Base, but I'm gonna keep calling it
Star
the Death
Killer
Star.
Base kind
Super
of
Death
sounds
Star.
like kind of silly.
Star Killer. No, you know why it's called that?
Why?
Because it's a reference.
Oh, to
Because it's either a reference to it's kind of a double reference. In the Force Unleashed games, your main character is named Star Killer,
okay.
and originally before Episode 4 was even filmed, the original name of Luke was Luke Starkiller, and his name was changed to Skywalker. So Starkiller is just a reference to Luke's pre-production name.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. And you know what? It's not even about the expanded universe. What's up? We're just doing our super long review.
It's all about the
discussion.
super
This has
weapon.
already been like, how long have we been going already? 40 minutes. We're still like super not even into it. There's still so many things to talk about.
But here's the thing. One of the reasons why I really like this movie
You know
is
what?
because
Keep talking. I'm gonna turn on a light.
they have a lot of references to the old one, and you're right. Okay, there are lots of It's not the best. I would say that I'm actually a big fan of Episode 1. I actually really liked Episode 1. I don't.
You are so alone in that.
What?
I didn't love Episode
I
1.
really okay. I'm a big fan of it, but anyway,
There are, Ed,
I'm
that,
not.
that is something that almost everyone universally
Hold on.
disagrees.
When I remember when I was a kid, I must have seen Episode 1 15 times.
Ed, I'm not trying to say you can't like it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that is I'm sure for most people the worst Star Wars movie, and I would still say it's the worst Star Wars movie.
I think
I'd
it's
say
like
it's
my
definitely
fourth favorite. But now here's the thing, though. This
fourth
one,
favorite. You're
Oh.
saying two and 3 are behind that?
No, 2 and 3 are above. No. Hold on, let me rephrase. No. 4, 5, and 6 are better than Episode 1. And maybe this one is in. This one.
But
is
you're
about-
saying if it's the fourth best, you're saying no.
No, I guess this is better than Episode 1. Okay, it's my fifth favorite. So I like.
So you're saying of the prequels, this Episode 1 was the best.
I think Episode 1 was the best prequel. But yeah. I loved
Wow.
Episode 1. Episode 1 had great
Oh,
battles.
there we got at least 2 people saying Episode 1's good.
Episode 1, I remember when I was a kid, I loved Episode 1. I played all the Episode 1 video games. I remember,
I mean, I
okay, Jar
played
Jar,
them too.
the Gungans were, I don't think it even bother me.
No,
I love
Jar
the
Jar-
Ewoks, I love the Gungans, they're fine.
You like the goofy little side
I love
animals.
goofy side things. I thought there were such fun, goofy things in this movie, too. Like, okay, BB-8, I have to say with BB-8, just like his beeping and booping, and then like the alien creatures on. What's the
my
point of having
God.
this planet that's not Tatooine? It's like, what's the name of it? Jakku?
Jakku.
Like, it's
No,
just
you know why?
Tatooine.
Because Tatooine is too much. Because they wanted to just do Tatooine again, but people saying Tatooine again it would be too cheap. That's ridiculous. That's way too much. That's
like-
going too far as having Tatooine again.
Okay.
You can't get away with that. Plus, what are you going to say? There was a battle over Tatooine? No one's going to fight for Tatooine. So
Yeah.
you say Jakku is another desert planet somewhere where there was an actual battle, and that's how there's the crashed Star Destroyer and everything.
Yeah, Jakku is like the better Tatooine. But it has a very similar desert culture, though.
It has an identical desert culture.
Well, not necessarily identical. It
It's
doesn't have
pretty.
huts. There were no huts in this movie.
There were no huts native to Tatooine. Jabba went to Tatooine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose. But, okay, here's what I'll say. That you're right, Jakku is basically like a cheap Tatooine. But
Yeah.
now, you have to say that, like, the part with the TIE fighter, and that when they steal a TIE fighter, that was a cool scene.
Okay,
Like, there were some cool
Those
action
TIE
scenes.
fighters are so impossibly overpowered, it's crazy. You're telling me that these new TIE fighters have a rear turret, missile launchers, shields?
Yeah.
No, they don't. The whole point of the TIE fighter in the original trilogy was to have the fastest, most mass-producible ship. The reason in the original trilogy they had to wear bodysuits is because there is no atmospheric control in a TIE fighter. They are sealed, and then there is no oxygen.
Well, these are
you
new
have
TIE
to wear the
fighters.
suit. Yeah, but you're telling me in the same exact design, you can just cram a missile launcher, another laser cannon, and oxygen control?
The TIE fighter, too. I don't know. I'm just
I don't know.
joking.
That
No, I understand. But here's actually that reminds me of another thing. The Finn character. He went from being so afraid of like killing civilians like on the planet and being, oh my god, I want to be a good guy, to just slaughtering his friends with the TIE fighter. Like that's actually something that didn't quite make sense with his character if you think about it.
Oh, that's fair.
So
That's a good
Finn
point.
is like, oh my god, I just saw my buddy, my stormtrooper buddy got killed, and now I'm
And now I'm
traumatized,
traumatized.
and I don't want to engage in violence. And then when he helps his friend escape, he's like, let me kill all my old friends. Let me kill all my old friends. You know, with the that actually didn't make sense.
That actually is a very good point.
Even though
I
I
didn't
love
even
his
think
character, that made no sense because like
because he obviously he cared about these
Sorry.
other stormtroopers.
yeah,
if
he
his
watched
friend
his
died.
buddy die, and he was like, I mean,
He
okay,
did the whole.
he watched his buddy die, and then he just mass slaughters his buddies. but now, yeah, that didn't make sense. But I still like his character because his character is cool. But yeah, but maybe his character is just kind of crazy. Maybe that's an explanation for all his character's inconsistencies. He was taken from birth and made a stormtrooper. He's probably screwed up and has lots of like the whole part where he like takes Phasma at gunpoint is acting all nuts. Like he's probably nuts. That explains Finn. I understand Finn. Finn is just nuts. Finn's nuts, and in a good way.
That's a good point. But then he almost alternates between being totally incompetent, needing to be saved by Rey, and like the super badass, like flip flop.
Yeah, he killed 20 stormtroopers not only after he refused to kill civilians, but after he like freaked out when his stormtrooper buddy died.
Yeah. Like his stormtrooper friend died. And he's like, oh no, kill all my other friends.
I'm sorry, what were you gonna say? You were talking about?
Yeah. There you go, Syndros. What a good point. They could have just put TIE Defenders in the movie. TIE Defenders were an already established expanded universe, cooler looking design that had missile launchers, were almost as fast as were faster than TIE fighters, had missile launchers, ion cannon, hyperdrive. God, what a good point.
You're right. They should have had why didn't they have some of the cooler expanded universe ships? And why did they only fly X-wings? Why did they have they were doing a bombing run with X-wings? Why not Y-wings?
Now you're under No.
Yeah.
Even more. In the expanded universe,
yeah,
the X-wing still exists. There's the A-wing, the B-wing. There's also the K-wing, which is literally, imagine a ship that looks like a K. It's a wing and then another pair of wings underneath, all covered in missiles and bombs. Then they have the E-wing, which is a super X-wing. Like, you're telling me, and also, we're getting onto so many things, going so through topics. The TIE fighter they used was a Special Forces variant. The ones they encountered, the Falcon, were normal ones. How did they manage to steal a Special Forces one then? You're telling me the one TIE fighter they stole was the Special Forces variant?
No,
they looked the same. That's a good point.
I think they just had more advanced TIE fighters.
Okay,
because the First Order did.
Why is the Resistance, we're going all the way back to why the Resistance is a stupid idea. It's just the rebels. They're hiding in a temple, clearly,
but the thing is,
again, and they have 12 X-Wings.
Well, see, that's the thing, because there must be... See, this movie, by avoiding going into the politics, we have to assume what this movie implies is the Republic is some kind of super weak government that doesn't have a lot of control, and that they have to fund the militia. Well... Yeah, so
why do they have to secretly fund the militia? You're telling me the Republic citizens are so against fighting the New Order that you have to secretly fund a crappy resistance movement
maybe
and cannot openly support them.
Maybe the Republic citizens were so traumatized by the intergalactic civil war in the first 3 movies that they're like, we're not going to openly fund a war. We don't. It's like a metaphor for the Middle Eastern fight in Iran. They're like, we're not going to fight the New Order.
This is a good point. The new X-Wings, do they have anything special? Nope. So you're telling me the First Order made TIE fighters super crazy, but the X-Wings didn't change their technology one iota.
Well, so here's why they didn't advance the fighters, because they were so obsessed with referencing and homaging the first movie that they didn't want to do new things.
Well, yeah.
That's why. But you could also make the argument that it's because this is a crappy militia that was funded by the Republic, which is so... irrationally anti-war. So this is like a whole in a way that this is this is all like a metaphor for the Middle Eastern politics. The Republic is like the U.S. and because of the previous war, the Republic is so anti-war they can't directly engage the enemy, so they have to fund proxy groups that are highly under-equipped to fight the real enemy.
You realize how ridiculous this sounds.
But if you think about what's the other explanation besides
there is none? That's the problem.
The explanation is they were lazy writers.
Yeah, that's the explanation. No, the explanation is they wanted the rebellion and they wanted the Empire, but oh wait, we're 30 years in the future and the Empire lost. How can we have the Empire come back but there still be a rebellion 30 years later? Well, let's say they made a new republic and then this First Order just came out of thin air, and for some reason, the Republic can't just fight them. Clearly, they just wanted to force this idea of a small ragtag rebellion against an empire.
Yes, they totally did, because
they crammed it in so hard. Yeah, that's a good question. How did the First Order fund the creation of Starkiller Base? If the Republic is the dominant force in the galaxy still, how does the First Order build a new super Death Star? Because the Empire in the expanded universe 30 years later was a small cluster of systems and could no way build a new Death Star.
So I think maybe in the next movie they'll reveal that the Republic is behind the First Order the whole time.
That doesn't make any sense. That makes even less sense. The First Order actually has some territory. Great, they have, but I just said the Empire didn't have any, had some territory too, and they were never.
Well, we have to
years
go-
and years. So you're telling me the Republic couldn't find out until Starkiller Base was done that it was under construction?
But I feel like maybe they put all their eggs in one basket, and Starkiller Base was all they had. Like they put all their.
So you're saying they had
investment-
the one Star Destroyer and that was it? Okay,
Yeah.
so that means the war's over.
Well, no, because
Okay,
Snoke
or-
is now. They have to kill Snoke, who's like Voldemort. Looks exactly like Voldemort.
It's actually way too smart. But I don't know who that at the beginning of the map was. The guy clearly a guy from Alderaan is all we know. A
Just-
survivor from Alderaan is the guy with the map. I have no idea.
The map guy. That's who he is.
No, but okay. Let's say the First Order did nothing but build the Super Death Star. That means why would the okay? Two things. One, why would the war not just be over? The war's over. You just won.
But now they have to go assassinate Snoke. Yeah.
Why didn't the Republic blow it up?
Because the Republic had such an anti-war, non-interventionist people who didn't want to bother interfering with the First Order that they had to have a proxy militia.
Halpamort.
He is. No, but honestly, like the way they made Snoke the new Emperor look, he looks way too much like Voldemort. Like it actually, I think
They
that
just
makes-
kind of went with the giant gray, faceless, snake-looking guy.
Why couldn't even the original Emperor look just like kind of a raggly old man? But he was more believable than this guy. Like, you know, like.
Well,
the
he
Emperor-
was just a raggly old man. This
Exactly.
guy's some dumb alien. So what if they have more destroyers? We only saw one. Even in the first movie, we saw a few Star Destroyers.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. The you know, I think here's what happened. They were so afraid of going too much into the politics because the prequels had way too much politics that they didn't have enough politics, and then there's not enough context. Which is that fair?
Yes,
There's just
that
not
is
there was not
absolutely a
enough
problem.
context because they were so afraid of doing too much politics.
First, still is a bunch of planets from the Imperial Remnant. Yeah, no, that doesn't explain anything. So what if they? Okay, then the New Republic should have a fleet 10,000 times bigger than the First Order fleet, and they should just be able to blow it up. Yeah,
Phasma's a female, and she's like an ice queen who gets her comeuppance. It's so sexist. Is that fair? No, that's my interpretation.
I don't even know. I think it would have been anything in a guy or girl in that role. It wouldn't have changed anything because it was totally underused character.
It was an underused character, but him finally pointing the gun at her and saying, "I'm in control now. I'm in control."
Yeah, that
is-
line would have worked on either person, I think.
No, but the fact that the
was an ice
dynamic
queen.
is there's something about that. That was my favorite
Snoke
part.
is the
Actually.
canon version of Darth Krayt. No. Krayt was much more messed up than this. And Krayt was much more interesting.
Oh.
He was in... Where are they?
Thing is,
Are
we've
these
all met
comics
people
on
like
this shelf?
Phasma in real life. We've met.
Oh, yeah. I don't have those comics on my shelf right now. They're probably on the floor or something or somewhere. I don't know where those comics ended up. The Legacy comics. Yeah, there's all... if I could move the camera, you guys would see all my Star Wars stuff still sitting around all sad,
But
alone.
you say Episode 7 is a high budget fan film, is what one person says.
Yeah, that's...
Well, in a way, since J.J. Abrams was.
You
a
know what?
fan,
I actually said one of the first things I said after the movie was, how did the GE stay together after Endor? Their economy was shattered. Oh, the Empire. The Empire. Yeah, they should have fractured,
They
but
did
they
f-
didn't.
Well, the First Order isn't one of the fractions. Maybe there's
No.
another called the Other Order. Yeah.
Actually, I think what the idea was the Empire was just defeated and destroyed by Endor. Like that's what they imply to me. They implied that the Empire is just gone after Endor. It just fell apart completely, and then the First Order just kind of rose up out of nowhere.
Oh, per the theory of interracial, all this like new diversity and stuff, Chewbacca and Rey should date, and that would be so edgy and original and like be a metaphor.
No.
Okay, I'm just joking.
That's not going to happen.
I know it would be hilarious though.
Oh God.
But
I
so-
can
oh,
only think of. I would have. That's another thing. Yet again, I would have done the whole Chewie Han thing. That should have. I think Chewie should have died in that scene.
Instead of Han.
No. Together, because in the books, Han spirals so hard into depression for so long because of Chewie's death. Chewie dies saving Han's son.
Yeah.
Han blames his son for Chewie's death and takes years to reconcile.
Oh.
Chewie is just like, oh, Han died, shoot you, bam, bam. Oh, let's plant charges and run away. Oh, no. Like, I actually explained this to Val. Wookiees They in KOTOR.
Yeah.
What does Zalbar get exiled for?
For betraying someone, or
He uses his claws to fight his brother. Wookiees have retractable claws. Wookiees
Oh.
don't fight with their claws, and he flies into a rage and attacks his brother with his claws and is exiled as a Mad Claw.
yeah.
You're telling me that Chewie didn't care enough about Han to berserker rip out his claws and go try to kill Kylo instantly?
Well, Kylo is too far because Kylo
Wookiees live on Kashyyyk. They know how to. They leap across. Literally, their mode of transport between villages is leaping across trees. You're telling me Chewie couldn't have jumped down there?
Oh, like a better scene rather than Chewie's just trying to fight him with a bowcaster. for
I
Chewie
would have
to take
seen
out his
Chewie
claws.
like flying through the air, blasting him with the bowcaster, ripping out his claws, and just slashing at Kylo like a maniac. That's what I think would have happened.
That would have been awesome. That would have been a great part. That would have been a great way to do it.
And
there were a lot of parts where
And
they couldn't.
okay,
Yeah, you're
you
right.
saw
They could've done
Han.
better.
You saw Han's death coming from 10,000 miles away.
I was watching that scene like, wait a sec, is he gonna reconcile? I was thinking, I bet she's gonna kill Han.
No,
I was
he's gonna
thinking,
kill Han. He's
like
gonna
like
kill
a few like when I was watching the scene, like I bet she's gonna stab Han.
He's
bet,
gonna.
Yeah.
But how much more impactful would that then have been to see Chewie be like, "I won't let you get away with this. I will die trying to kill you for what you did to Han."
You're
Han
right.
and Chewie at that point have been together for 45 years.
That their bromance surpasses.
That's more than most marriages
Yeah.
last.
They have one of the best on-screen bromances.
Well,
Right.
it's a life debt.
Yep.
Why would Chewie abandon a life debt? He has a life debt to Han, which is explained in the expanded universe where he gets it from, and they don't say it in the movies, but it's pretty logical that it's a life debt, like Zalbar has.
Yes.
Are you telling me Chewie's just like, oh, I better just leave, I better just give up? You know, I'm angry, but can't do anything here. Chewie would have flown into such a rage, he would not have allowed Kylo to live while he was alive.
Yeah.
Like that I think would have been so much more impactful.
So they didn't
and
do that
serious.
scene properly. But now so the character Rey's a good character. I think she could have been developed more. She just seems kind of like she reminds me of
I saw the phrase, I'd never heard this before. Have you ever heard of a Mary Sue?
what's a Mary Sue?
It's apparently a writing thing where they make a woman who can do everything.
She's like Katniss, basically.
Well, but I almost kind of buy that because, you know, like, she kind of is. She can do anything. Oh, she can fix the Falcon. She's never flown on the Falcon before. Oh, she can pilot the Falcon. She's never even flown a starship before.
Yeah.
Oh, she can fight with a lightsaber like a master. If Finn is not a Jedi, he should be dead.
He shouldn't have been able
No
to
Jedi, no non-Jedi can wield a lightsaber and fight a Force user.
Well,
That's impossible.
He lost. He got like stabbed.
No, he should have died in
like-
a second.
Like there's no way he could have even
There
put up a
was
fight.
no way he could have put up a fight.
Unless Kylo really sucked.
Over and over and over again, it is hammered in the expanded universe that you cannot just pick up a lightsaber and fight. Specifically, in the story Splinter of the Mind's Eye, Luke and Leia are on their way to a diplomatic mission and crash land on a planet that has a gem that is supposed to enhance your force powers greatly. Vader shows up at the last minute when they're about to find the crystal and escape, and Luke tries to fight Vader and is not even holding on. And Obi-Wan's spirit possesses Luke, and only then is Luke able to match Vader for Vader in lightsaber combat. You're telling me that a non-Force user can pick up Luke's lightsaber and fight Kylo Ren, a Dark Jedi who was trained by Luke?
Maybe he has some latent Force powers, or like maybe he has latent Force powers, or maybe he's just his force of will, or maybe he's so crazy that he was about to die and just got lucky that he really. Because you're saying like,
All of those things are ridiculous.
but okay. So let's say this. That I agree with you that this, from the point of view of like the remaining consistent to certain things in the series, it didn't necessarily do that great a job. But I think that it was just a really good movie. That like it just because it captured the spirit of the original. It had a fun plot. I got into the characters. I enjoyed. I thought it had some great action, some great scenes, some great like funny moments where they get revenge, they overpower.
There were some funny
characters.
moments. Val pointed out, rightfully so. I laughed at a few parts in this movie.
Yeah, I laughed a few times too. There was some. So here's
Some
the
of
thing.
it, like, I'm not trying to say that everything in this movie was terrible. Let's talk about Carl mentioned the CGI a little. Pre-Vizsla kind of held his own against Maul in the animated. I don't count the animated series. I don't watch the animated series. The Force Awakens and thus birthed onto all the galaxy generous super force babies. Rey has latent power. I'm not talking about Rey. I'm talking about Finn. And a human. No, you can't fight. You can't. The Force allows you to have precognition. You know what someone else is going to do. That's why lightsaber duels, as much as everyone makes fun of Obi-Wan versus Anakin, that was an intense as hell duel with them all flipping around and doing. That's what it should be.
Because they can precognize.
Because they are so fast and so quick and so, like, they know what the other, like, they are so fast and like, that's the whole reason that was an interesting thing.
Oh wait, what about this argument from KOTOR that non-Force users can fight Jedi's in KOTOR who have lightsabers?
That is different. They do not engage in hand-to-hand combat. Jango Fett and Boba Fett kill tons of Jedi. Grievous kills a bunch of Jedi.
But you're saying they don't do it like.
But they don't do it with a lightsaber.
But
Grievous has 4 arms and is enhanced by cybernetics. He's basically a robot controlled by a few organic parts. Like, and he's filled full of rage drugs, and he's trained by Dooku, who's obviously not going to try to kill him. Fine. Boba Fett and Jango Fett. They specifically say in the books, Boba Fett says, never fight a Jedi hand to hand. You kill their families, you trap them in rooms with gas, you set explosives, you set traps, you never fight them.
But now, what about when you're a low-level Jedi in KOTOR, and then you're fighting like a high-level like melee character who's not a Jedi? Or does that not count because it's an RPG?
KOTOR doesn't really count because they kind of just that's totally
That's a
different.
video game, and like you can't follow all the rules. Okay, I understand. No, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. You're right. It doesn't make sense that they tried to give Finn lightsaber dueling abilities, unless they want to imply that he can become a Jedi. That's the only thing.
If
in
they
the second
okay,
movie,
and you know what? That's one of those things that will retroactively be okay, but I don't think so because I think they're only going to want one Jedi.
okay,
Because Rey is clearly the Force user.
but now so
Plus, there's never another hint that Finn has Force powers.
that's true.
Everyone thought he might be a Jedi because they saw the picture of him with the lightsaber, and at the very start of the movie, I'm like, okay, maybe he will be the Jedi, because he freaks out when they kill the civilians, but that's just him freaking out.
Him freaking out.
I thought it was going to be like,
but
I
kill
feel
my-
the pain of these
Oh,
deaths.
wait, I actually don't mind that then he slaughters his friends, because getting into his like shell shock mindset is, oh my god, my buddy just died. Now they wants to kill civilians. Now I'm gonna slaughter all of them and go postal and rescue this first order. This
Actually,
resistance guy.
that plays
makes
into
sense.
him not being a Jedi.
Yeah, he just goes
Because
postal.
like I said, like I wasn't even really thinking about it, but he clearly was affected by the deaths on Jakku.
Yes.
Or whatever that planet was, not Jakku. He was affected by it was Jakku. What the hell am I saying? And but I thought that might be Force powers, but it clearly wasn't because he doesn't care about the deaths of his friends. He's like totally dead to it. Phasma is confirmed to be in episode 8. Maybe she'll actually do something.
So Phasma will be like, ah ha ha, you thought I could get me, but I'm more of a bitch than you even imagined. And then he'll
Well,
be
I mean,
like,
she
now
didn't-
I'm...
of course she didn't die.
Now I'm
SWTOR
like-
bounty hunter fights. Okay, SWTOR is just totally like none of these games that are designed to be RPGs are going to be reasonable. Because they're just designed to work with whatever. Like everyone saw my KOTOR season 1, KOTOR 1 and 2 season 1, I used a blaster.
The whole game?
Yeah. Oh, I killed like Nihilus with a blaster. No, that was never going to work.
It's just it's a role-playing game.
Like that, yeah, it was an RPG. That doesn't count.
Wait, so Phasma is in the next one, so she escapes, and then we
Of
find
course she does.
Phasma. But okay, but like they should have done more with Phasma, because they should have revealed just like the ways in which everyone hates her, and that she's like, oh my god, Phasma, she's such a bitch. That's just what they all be thinking, and everyone's like, I can't wait to overpower her. Like they have to in the next one, just do a shoot rather than kill her with a blaster.
Yeah, why didn't they just kill Phasma?
Oh, they thought because they couldn't just because they wanted to
Why?
bring her in the next episode.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought they
why.
were gonna do more to Phasma. I don't know.
I thought they were going to do so much more with Phasma.
It's like Phasma's so awful. They said let's sell her. Oh, you know what? Would be a great end for Phasma. They sell her to be a slave on like Tatooine, and then they just imply lots of things
no, because then she'll come back.
Oh, they can't just sell her into
They would never
slavery.
just do that
They
and
make
have
her
her-
be a Leia-esque slave from Return of the Jedi. Because they just obviously this movie. See this? Okay, I'm gonna get into a little bit of like the Denny politics of because I think it's interesting. So from the feminist point of view, there's two female characters in this movie: Ray, who's like an ultra feminist good guy, and then Phasma, who's like the uber bitch. And it's
Okay.
interesting how this movie
Poe
treats
is
its two
basically
female
Wedge, yeah.
characters.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's interesting how this movie treats its female characters in the sense, excluding Leia, that the new female characters, that Ray is like I'm the Mary
Leia's like
Sue-
not even in the movie.
no, yeah, Leia's hardly. But
Her
Ray,
and Han was so ice cold.
yeah,
Like there was no, like
but they
at least
played
in the
John
original
Williams
trilogy.
music.
Actually, my uncle pointed out, who loved the movie, he actually said one thing about this movie is that the score wasn't incredible.
Yeah, they just rehashed.
There was
the
no
old stuff.
there was no big standout score bit in this movie. There really wasn't.
Yeah.
Not the feminism crap.
Well, no. All I mean to say with the feminism crap is it's interesting how the two female characters are. One is like the uber bitch, and the other is like the perfect Mary Sue I can do everything character. Which I just thought I guess I don't really mean anything by that except that it was interesting because on one hand you could claim the movie's feminist for having like the female do everything character, but then it has like the uber bitch everyone hates character. So it kind of like is able. You can make the argument that it's not. It's like people can't like
Just blame the patriarchy. Why not have Wedge in the movie? Because Wedge is too old and they want to have new characters. Because clearly they only wanted the original three. Actually, the actor for Wedge said he didn't want to come back also.
Really? They didn't want to have Wedge? It's just like some old guy?
Well, because Poe is basically Wedge.
Yeah.
Actually, did anyone else get a very Wraith Squadron vibe out of Poe? Wraith Squadron was a series of books, or part of the X-Wing series.
Yeah.
Where Wraith Squadron is basically a group of commandos who are like super, like half, like they kind of don't play by the rules, and but they fly X-Wings. They're like an X-Wing squad. They're like people who are commandos first and X-Wing pilots second.
Yeah.
Poe is I got a Wraith Squadron vibe from them because Wedge is part of Wraith Squadron for a little while.
Yeah.
So
By the way, the Resistance base looked exactly like the base from the first movie.
that's what I was saying. It's
It
the
did.
temple.
But
It's a temple with X-Wings again.
Yeah.
Like that's all it was. Is it was just we're at a temple again.
I have thought they were going to end the movie with an award ceremony like the first one.
That would have been too much.
That would have been like extreme.
She was a scavenger. So what? So what? You're a scavenger. She doesn't learn how to make the technology work. She learns how to keep her speeder going, and that's it. When does she make any other technology repairs? She just rips things out of Star Destroyers. She's like, oh, I recognize that this is a valuable part of this Star Destroyer engine. Better take it.
I could believe that, like, through her time, she's met lots of people and probably had things explained to her and learned how to speak in droid beeps.
Oh, but she knows how to work a hyperdrive.
yeah, we'll hear time to time, like, someone's like, hey, let me show you how to work the hyperdrive on this destroyer.
She never left Jakku.
Maybe she met. Oh, but here's the thing, Tim, that if someone...
I think she just is too good at too much.
She can...
It's like, burns.
Yeah.
The Skywalker genes, there was no... Luke grew up with droids his whole life, but clearly Luke had no clue what he was doing on the Millennium Falcon. What's that flashing? The first line when they take off, Luke points at the dashboard of the Millennium Falcon. What's that flashing? He doesn't know how to fix it. He doesn't even know what it is.
Maybe this woman, though, when she was hanging out on Tatooine, on Jakku, was like, hey, you can go into the... Hey, here's this Millennium Falcon rust bucket. Let me show you how it works. And someone was like, oh, okay, thank you. So the year she grew up with this rust bucket hanging around, someone showed it to her.
Why? No. She said that she saw the ship and that it's been there for years. She never said, I went on it and I know how it works. If she had been on it, she would know. And she wasn't even trying to go onto the Millennium Falcon. Let's say this. If you have been working on a ship on and off for years,
Yeah?
wouldn't you go on the ship you know rather than the other ship over there, the one that gets blown up?
Yeah, well, maybe by this time the... Well, okay, maybe it doesn't quite make sense, but that's not...
Yeah, why wasn't the Falcon locked up? That's another good point. That's really simple.
Because Disney retcon the... Oh, wait. They use...
More than new X-Wings for the attack. Nope, they only have X-Wings. Obi-Wan and Yoda and Rey's vision. What? Rey's vision? Oh, their voice... I don't know. I don't remember that. Hate Ridley's face. I want to punch her, but I mean, come on.
You mean Ray, not Ridley from
Oh,
Alien.
yeah, Ray.
Everyone's just gonna get all this stuff confused because they rehash so much from other things. You're just gonna get confused.
How easy it was to destroy Starkiller Base. Yep,
You mean the
we
Death
talked
Star?
about that
Oh,
earlier.
So when they had-
Akbar returns, which is so stupid because they didn't even make him look like Akbar.
oh, he didn't exactly look like Admiral Akbar when they brought him in. Or...
Well, it's like, oh, it's just a fish guy. It could easily be like you've seen how many Mon Calamari there are. I didn't even think that it was Akbar until afterward when I saw people being like, oh,
they
Akbar
needed to
was
have
in it.
more of him and have him like have a good.
See, that was another
line.
throwaway thing that they put in there just because they could.
There were so many homages they could have developed more. See, I think a lot of people wish they could have. Parts of this movie almost left you hungry, like you wanted them to do more with some of the things they introduced.
Yes, so much.
But I mean, is there a lot?
Like, that's why 4 was so good, because 4 didn't try to go too big too fast. 4 didn't introduce a republic or like the whole empire. It was just the Death Star. Is Lando ever going to be in the movies? Who knows? Akbar does not look good.
Maybe
now.
Lando is Finn's father. Is that unreasonable considering the way this is written? Like it could be.
You know, that actually hurts because that actually, now that I think about it, you might be right. Maybe Finn actually turns out to be freaking Lando's son. Ugh.
Lando, he's like Finn, because Finn doesn't know
Yeah,
who his
watch
parents
in the
are.
next movie. There's a random rebellion fleet.
And then
That would be such a ripoff.
And Lando's like, my son was taken from me at birth 20 years ago. And it's like, wait.
Actually, don't you think Luke might have mentioned it? Or not Luke, Han.
Really? When did Han mention that?
No, wouldn't he have?
If, like, when he met
Wouldn't
Finn?
he have been like, oh, you're a lot like my friend Lando?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, maybe he was going
But
to
maybe that would have
mention
been too on the nose. Maybe that, you know what I mean? That might have been too right on there, because that would have been like, oh, it's Lando's kid. Oh, it's so
Well, I
funny.
guess you could believe that Lando was always kind of morally ambiguous, right? So he was,
Not really. He was always a good guy. He was trying to... The only reason he turned Han over was because he was still pissed at Han. And, he was trying to protect Cloud City.
Now,
First day when Cloud City was clearly just going to be turned over to the Empire, he's like, okay, I'm joining the rebels.
No, I find it also hard to believe that Han, after he became a rebellion general, just went back to smuggling when he probably got a lot of money.
Oh
And
my
they were
god, it
working
was
in
so
the-
dumb. That whole Han and Leia are separated thing because of Kylo. It's so bad. They're not friends after Cloud City?
Well, after he
Yes,
had
they
Han
are.
frozen and carbonite. Oh wait, but then they made up.
But the
in
whole
Return of the
idea is that in
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi they made up.
Yeah. Oh, remember they brought.
Oh,
back...
but no, clearly we're going back to how things were in Episode 4, so you're right. They would be enemies because Leia and Han aren't together, and Lando and Han must clearly hate each other. About that CGI, sure, let's talk about the CGI. Good point, Carl. The CGI, I think, was actually pretty good, but I had this odd feeling that a lot of the effects were based off of Star Trek video files.
Really?
Some of it felt a little like that same kind of gritty look to a lot of stuff, and a lot of the little bit of lens flaring, a little bit of shiny iPad kind of feel, iPhone kind of feel to a lot of it.
Really? Wait,
It
video?
felt kind of like Star Trek, not totally, but
Well, it was the guy who made Star
kinda.
Trek made this.
I know,
movie.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
What do we think of JJ now owns both Star Trek and Star Wars?
I
He's
mean-
the master of the two.
yeah, it's weird that JJ gets to run all the shows now.
Yeah, but now
I don't
maybe
know,
so.
how fast Rey learned to control her powers. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about the whole. She can just do force powers and everything by the end.
Yeah,
I wish, you know what I wanted a lot? I wanted a lot more of the force, because the expanded universe implied so many more force powers. There's so many more force powers out there, and all they use is force push and mind control. That's all they do.
when they could really like do like battle meditation or something like that, or
Oh, battle meditation in this movie?
that would have been great.
Oh my god, what if they found Rey just in her cell battle meditating? Or what if she started trying to battle meditate? That would be the coolest.
Yeah, but
That would have been amazing.
But they wouldn't want to borrow too much from the expanded universe because they wanted to homage the original and make it accessible.
Yeah, because they want to kill the expanded universe even more. Took Luke 5 years. Yeah, that's a good point. JJ Ray has a lot of latent power, and here's why she mind tricked us two without hand motions. You don't need hand motions. Hand motions have nothing to do with mind control. They actually specifically reference in one of the EU books. Luke reaches out when he's meeting during Luke's recruitment of new Jedi for his first class of new Jedi. He goes to Cloud City to meet a hermit who lives off on not Cloud City, Bespin, who lives off on his own and uses the Force to find He knows he's a Force user because he uses the Force to find pockets of Tabana gas for mining. And Luke does a thing where he shows that he's a Jedi by reaching out, and he does a flicking motion, and he flicks a stand with a bunch of Minox on it a ways away and shakes them all off. And Luke does it like this, and he chase them off. And one of his students is the one who's first person at the time, and he says he reaches out and he feels it, and he's like, Luke didn't even need to do the flick. He just does that for emphasis. You don't need hand motions to do Force powers.
Oh, yeah, the hand motions are like gestures when you talk. You don't need to gesture when you talk, but you do.
Yes.
If I was a Force user, I would just
They didn't use stasis. Well, I guess they kind of used stasis from KOTOR.
Yeah.
But that's more just of pushing and pulling kind of thing.
Okay, but here's another thing with the movie. Now,
I like that they weren't lazy and used a real galaxy map. Yeah, but the galaxy map is the only thing that makes the movie feel more than 5 feet wide. If you didn't see a galaxy map, you wouldn't think it was big.
so the movie doesn't have, like... There weren't really any huge-scale battles in this when you come to think of it. Like, there were no major... There was no, like...
There was the X-Wing attack.
There was no Battle of Hoth. There was no Endor, Death Star 3, Return of the Jedi battle. Even Episode 1 had some fairly big battles. Like, Episode 1 had the huge... See, okay, here's what I have to say why I loved Episode 1. Remember the battle with the Gungans versus the droids? And it's like World War I, two sides going...
Yep.
Or like doing this... That was really cool. That was big. That
or the
big.
thousands of droid starfighters.
Like, this movie... Tim, you're totally right. This movie didn't have scale. Even though you had a super Death Star that was bigger than the other one, it didn't have a sense of scale. But I think that was also by design because they were trying to mimic...
Plus, here's another thing. In Episode 4, you could get away with saying there's only a handful of TIE fighters because the Death Star technically had like 1,000 TIE fighters.
Yeah.
But you could say they didn't launch that many because of Tarkin's arrogance.
Yeah.
Because Tarkin, his character, was clearly arrogant and totally behind the idea that the Empire would just win.
Yeah.
Fine. Why didn't the New Order launch 10,000 TIE fighters?
Well, they might
to
not
deal
have had
with
them
the
because the
X-Wings?
New Order is like a paramilitary group. They're not like a full-fledged.
But they can
army.
build a super Star Destroyer.
Yeah, but that's where they
Star.
put all their budget. They don't have a lot of TIE fighters.
But then how did the war not over?
Maybe the war is over. Maybe it ends in the wars. Maybe
Then what's the rest of the trilogy going
It's
to be?
about them trying to find Snoke and slaughter and kill him, because they have to stop Voldemort from starting. I mean, Snoke from establishing a new empire. But like, I bet you, because like I bet you they basically killed off the First Order, and the second movie is let's rebuild the Jedi.
There's no way. The New Order's not going to. The First Order's not going to die until the new.
Oh yeah, it's the First Order, not the New Order.
Yeah, the First Order.
See, I'm gonna just get confused because they're too similar to the other stuff. But now, okay. The what about the part? What about the cantina? What do you think of the new cantina?
Clearly, just the cantina from Episode 4, with some different aliens.
Yeah.
So just the same thing.
Yeah, you would think they would have.
And the bar owner was new Yoda.
Yeah, she was Yoda.
She was Yoda before Luke showed up. Or she was like kind of more like new Obi-Wan because Luke wasn't around.
Her character was pretty cool. I liked the music they had in the bar. It was just
Played by what band was it? Was it not a Bith band?
Oh, was it?
What was the race? What did they look like?
I don't know exactly.
There was the whole race band, the one race band that was just 4 or 5 guys as the same race doing the band. Oh, how original.
Yeah.
Someone else like Kylo Ren.
Snoke is like Tarkin. No, it's like
Snoke is not.
It's
Tarkin.
like the general, Nazi general guy.
The Hitler general might be, yeah.
And the Hitler
General Hitler. That's.
I loved how the Hitler general, in some ways, I felt like he and Kylo Ren were not necessarily any higher up on the totem pole. And Snoke's
exactly.
It
It's not like
a,
Vader, where Vader just ran the show with Tarkin. Like,
yeah, I almost felt like Kylo was this guy's bitch a little bit.
Yeah. Like Kylo was supposed to be subordinate to this guy if he didn't have a force power. General Hux. So General Hitler. We already talked about General Hitler a while ago. Don't worry, anyone who missed some of this is all going to be up on YouTube. I highly recommend watching this when it's done.
The scene where he's like giving his fascist speech is...
Plagueis being Snoke, no. Okay, that's Plagueis was Palpatine's master.
Yeah.
Um, the thought of him coming back and that being the thing they take from the prequels is disgusting. That is so stupid and doesn't make any sense. How did they find Anakin's lightsaber? Actually, in the expanded universe, they found Luke's severed arm and the lightsaber at Cloud City.
Oh.
I don't know how, but they did. So if they can claim it in the expanded universe, I'm more okay with it being in this. Although it's lazy that she just has it. Like,
Oh.
at least in the expanded universe, Vader had the lightsaber in hand.
Okay. Oh wait.
Or the Emperor actually did. The Emperor had them. Like,
Yes.
he found them and had them on a treasure planet as a trophy.
Wait. So does Luke get a new lightsaber in the third movie because it's blue? Whereas so wait.
No, 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 no. What?
In A New Hope, he had a green lightsaber.
No,
but
no,
in
no,
the
no,
Return
no.
of the
In A
Jedi-
New Hope, he had blue, which was Anakin's old lightsaber that Obi-Wan takes at the end of Episode 3. And then in Episode 5, Luke's arm gets cut off and lost with the lightsaber. And then in Episode 6, he has built a new lightsaber, which is green.
Oh, that he fights that final battle with Vader. With I love Episode 6 so much. Episode 6.
Yep.
Episode 6 is a masterpiece. A lot of critics didn't like it, but I love it.
I love Episode 6 a lot, in a lot of ways. So, I mean, like, all of the Star Wars movies has problems, but...
But that's what makes them awesome. They're good problems. But now, here's a question. Though. Did Finn ever wake up at the end? Because I'm thinking, why
No.
wasn't Finn in a Kolto tank when he got
Do you
injured?
mean a Bacta tank?
A Bacta.
Kolto has stopped being used a long time ago. Kolto was kind of a KOTOR lazy thing where it was like, hey, we don't want to say Bacta, but it's Bacta.
Oh, Bacta. Whatever it was. Anyway.
They use Bacta in the current years.
But no. But here's the thing, though, Tim. What were some things? Let's talk positive, though. What aspects do you think they did well? What did you like?
I think the CGI was overall pretty good.
Okay, they had good effects. BB-8, of course.
BB-8 was good. The new Star Destroyer looks cool. What else did I like? CGI I already said. Except for some of the things they do, some of their actions that betray bad character development, I think what they were going for with Finn and Rey was cool. Like, they're not trying to force a romance there, apparently, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. I like both their characters. Just some of the things they do are ridiculous. Like, that detract from the movie. I'm not saying I hate Finn and Rey. I'm saying
They're
the
not well
things they
developed.
do are hurt their characters and make them harder to believe and unbelievable.
I think it can be believed that Finn is just a lunatic.
No, I don't think they were going for a lunatic at all.
That Finn is
Dionysus.
unstable. He's just like...
Wait, what? Bacta is not a synthesized version of Kolto. Bacta is a miracle juice that's developed by the people on Thifera, by the aliens on there. I forget their name.
The acting was good. Much
The
better
acting
acting
was
than
pretty
the
good.
prequels. But now, what do you think of... So you said Kylo Ren was well acted, but the character was... just a bitch.
character though, because he's such.
Was the actor miscast? He was a good actor. But he was
Well, I mean, I hate his hairdo and his face was kind of putty. Like, he looked like a rebellious boy band teen.
Yes, he did.
And his character is such a ripoff of Jason from the expanded universe, but so much less interesting than Jason. Like, everyone can hate on the Legacy of the Force series where Jason falls to the dark side and has to be killed by his sister. Veratix, thank you. Those are the guys who make Bacta. You could easily say that you don't like Legacy of the Force, but I think Jason's fall to the dark side is much more interesting than Kylo's. Thrawn's Revenge. So I'll say Empire of the Hand is better than both. Oh, Thrawn's Revenge. Haha. He should be paralyzed. Why would he be paralyzed? When did his spine get cut?
What?
He was just stabbed in the shoulder. When was his spine cut by a lightsaber?
Who's spied?
Finn's.
Finn's?
It isn't. He just
Oh.
gets stabbed in the shoulder and then he collapses.
Yeah, he gets stabbed. Cause
Wait, he got stabbed?
with a lightsaber. Right?
Where?
Did he? I don't
In
remember.
the shoulder?
I don't
I remember
remem-
him being like turning it into his shoulder.
Well, I don't remember. All I know is Finn survived.
Yeah. Finn. Yeah, that's a good point. Finn and Rey do lose influence, like in KOTOR 2's influence. Did you ever finish KOTOR 2?
No. But I will finish it.
Oh, that should have been the game I bought you for Christmas, not Wasteland. Should have played KOTOR 2.
I'll play KOTOR 2 soon. And
You should buy it. It's probably...
I have KOTOR
All right, we're going to
1.
interrupt this broadcast to see how cheap KOTOR 2 is for Ed.
Wait, I have KOTOR 1 on my iPhone.
I hate it. I tried playing it on Android, and I don't like it.
Oh, it was better on the Xbox, but I'm going to play KOTOR 1. Once I figure out where my headphones are, I'll play it
Look
on
at
the train.
$3. Ed, KOTOR 2 is $3
Oh, shit,
on
I should
Steam.
buy that.
You have to buy
Tim,
this.
if I give you
Ed, the
$3
Star Wars collection is $23.
Does that include all of them?
Every Star Wars game on Steam is $23 for the whole thing.
Every single one?
Yeah.
Tim, if I give you $23 right now, could you get
No,
that
you can.
gifted?
Ed, download the Steam app on your phone.
You can get a Steam app on your phone?
Yep.
I just got an iPhone like a week ago. But-
Yeah, totally. Just download Steam, log in, and you can buy stuff on there.
Wait, can I ask Siri? Well, we're not going to do Siri on the live
Kylo
stream.
is kind of badass, but he's like, it doesn't matter. Vader was a badass, but his character was cool. Kylo's character is so lame. Kylo sliced up his spine. Okay, I don't remember it, but I believe it. If this many people are gonna say that Kylo's spine slashed up, what's his face?
Yes. Oh wait, the Nazi hand raising. Why the hell did they do the Nazi
Oh
hand
my
raising?
God.
That didn't make sense.
First Order.
They didn't have to do the hand raising. That was a bit much.
You know what? The Empire never had a salute, and that was okay.
The Empire,
Because you don't need a salute in today's day and age.
No, and also I don't think the Empire necessarily was like they were evil Empire, but I don't think they were necessarily like the Nazis. They were. More
They
like,
weren't. They were kind of Nazis,
But
but
they
in the
were-
expanded universe and everything, they're much more just an evil bureaucracy.
Yeah, they're like an evil bureaucracy. They're more like old England if England were evil. Old the English Empire in England.
I just want the Empire back. First Order's too much. Hail, Star Killer. That's a good one.
But okay,
Ed,
so,
look, download the Steam app. Do it while we're talking. Go on the App Store.
and I can download Steam games.
No, you can't download games, but you can buy games to your account.
Oh, so when you're bored, you just buy games on your iPhone.
No, I never do that, but you could.
I will.
First Order is such a lazy ripoff of the Empire. Like, here's a simple problem with the movie. The First Order is not different from the Empire.
They could have differentiated them in a lot of ways. They could have had even a different enemy, maybe another.
Like in the books, I'm gonna say this. Imagine if Episode 7 was fighting the Yuzhong Vong, the alien invaders from outside the galaxy who cannot feel the Force as we do, and all of their technology is biological. Every single thing they have is an organism. They grow starships.
That would be too much for people. Would like freak out. They'd say this isn't like the first movie.
I know. And that's why Star Wars will forever be this disappointing. That's why Episode 7 was so disappointing to me. Because 30 years in the future in the expanded universe is so much cooler. Like, that's seriously, this is what it comes down to. The expanded universe 30 years after Episode 6 is so much better than Star Wars Episode 7. And more interesting.
And the expanded universe is frozen in time. But is Disney
Expanded
going to
universe
make
is
a
gone.
new expanded universe based off the new
Yeah.
new timeline?
Yeah.
And are you going to read it or not
No.
really?
I haven't read any of the new books and I never will.
Oh, by the way, I love this one comment from Dick Beard the Merciless that says they wanted to play on people's emotions. LOL. We wouldn't be able to tell that they're evil just from blowing up a few planets. We need a menacing salute to solidify that.
That's true.
That's really hilarious.
We have to be super for the kids and obvious and evil. So the new trilogy should have been the Thrawn trilogy. Yep,
But no, here's the thing.
that
though.
would have been the best trilogy of movies ever written. Would have been the Thrawn trilogy movies.
But so even if they didn't bring in the Yu Zhang Wang,
That's it.
you're right, they could have had a different enemy besides just a clone of the Empire. I guess
It's
They could
it's
have
like
had,
beat for beat. The Empire is still around. How do you know the Empire is still around? The Vong are lame. No. Yeah, it's silly, but it's much more interesting and different.
Wait, do the Imperials still speak with British accents like they did?
No.
Okay.
That was just Tarkin.
That was just
Well, that was also because they filmed in Britain a little bit, didn't they?
Oh,
Or they just got a lot of British actors. I don't remember.
yeah, that was pretty
Darth
good.
Caedus would kill Kylo Ren. Yep. Darth Caedus is Jason Solo's Darth name.
Oh, I think any serious Jedi, let's assume Kylo Ren is a sufficiently incompetent Jedi that Finn, just a random guy, can
Yeah,
just,
okay.
can
let's say that.
overpower him with a
Kylo
lightsaber
Ren has
immediately.
to either be so incompetent that Rey with no training can fight him, or it was terribly written.
I mean, I liked it, so I'm just willing to accept.
But then why
everything.
wouldn't Luke just beat him down? Why wouldn't Luke just kill him?
Because maybe there's more to the plot. We need to figure it out.
It's such a lazy reason.
See, just record. I really like this movie, and I think that for all its flaws, it did an excellent job of capturing the magic of the first ones, like stylistically and the plot. And I got into all the characters, and I accept all the potential plot holes as being like there's an explanation.
See, I literally with Star Wars, I can't look beyond all the issues. I just can't. Good makeup artists, they wouldn't use much CGI.
Now, Tim, is it even worth asking in this forum?
Rey was not one of Luke's trained kids. Rey didn't know she had the Force within her, so she couldn't have been trained as a Jedi at all.
Oh, Tim, I don't think I have reception to log in. That doesn't matter.
Oh, because you're not on. We'll do it at your house when you're on Wi-Fi.
Okay,
Because the sale's still going on.
no problem.
You could just do it on your computer. No, we'll do it on your phone when we get there.
No, sorry, but continue what you're saying. Sorry.
The Chiss and Star Defender are in the new canon. Where? How do you know that? They killed Mara Jade. Mara Jade, if you mean killed, she's not in the movie. Yes, she's not in this.
Wait.
Was there something like Jedi Academy? Yes, there was something like Jedi Academy, except Jedi Academy had Luke's nephew go to the dark side, and then he killed all the other students, and Luke ran away, and that was the end of the new Jedi Order.
Now, Tim, is it fair to ask how a person who's never seen Star Wars before what would they think of this movie? Is
I
it fair to ask that
genuinely
question?
can't answer that. I can't even try.
Okay, it's not worth asking that question.
I can't. It's fair to ask. I just can't answer it. I'm way too deep in to even put myself in that mindset.
Now, what do you think that there's any evidence of Disney? Now, here's a question. Now, comparing Disney to George Disneyfication, or now I think George Lucas was already a ridiculous merchandiser. Disney probably is taking it to the next level. They're
Oh
gonna-
my God!
I have
yeah.
a friend who
Ed,
says
there was Yoda on grapes. There was BB on oranges. There was.
I have a friend who goes around saying, well, you know her, Jen. She's saying that Leia is the new Disney princess, and it pisses everyone off when she says it because she says it to her brother, and he just says, "Don't say that."
She's not.
I know, but she says Leia's a Disney princess.
All right. Well, Jen is also a moron, and no one likes her other than you.
Oh well, whatever.
Everyone hates her.
Oh,
She's not watching this, Ed.
whatever. Oh, okay, but anyway, but anyway, that was just very interesting. That
Leia's not a Disney princess. Who is the person that Rey so got? Okay, hold on. Let's start taking some fan questions. We'll focus on the. I meant the Vaughn killed Mara. No, they didn't. Jason killed Mara. It was part of his character development as Darth Caedus. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a Sith civil war between old and new ideas for the Sith? Well, I mean, I guess, but that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna go that deep. I'm trying to read all the posts. The Empire is supposedly still around, but what evidence is there of that? I'm asking where are you getting that information? Oh my God, people are actually starting to post. Who was the person that Rey so get taken by the First Order in her vision? The other child. What? What other child? I don't know what you're talking about. I think any person critically thinking would notice the lazy exposition. That's why I can't like the movie. That's why I would give the movie like a 4 out of 10.
you would give it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow, that's shockingly high for all the things. First Order knows
Because
be as hardcore
none
as
of the
some
things
improvement.
bother me. I think there's an explanation for all of it.
Star Wars Commander new canon game. That game is definitely not canon. That can't be true. Someone tell me if that's true. Make
Wait,
25 billion from toys. Yeah.
Tim, do you think they would make an RPG in the new Disney universe? Would they make a role-playing game that's KOTOR?
Probably eventually.
Disney universe?
Their new Star Wars canon. I can't. What's my favorite EU book? I really like Back to War. Back to War is so much fun because it's kind of like reading an RTS, if that's even possible, but it's fun. Are these villains even Sith? No. Apparently they are not.
But they're essentially Sith.
It's not Jason, it's Jason, Jacen, is how Han and Leia's son is. So is that Coruscant? No, that was not. Hosnian Prime, which is a totally made-up planet. I think they're Sith. They're not. I'm pretty sure it's been said multiple times. At least Kylo is not a Sith, and I don't think the Supreme Emperor Overlord guy, I don't think he's technically Sith. The Chiss and Defender in the Star Wars Commander game. Yeah, but I'm saying, where is it said that like, I need an article or something that says the Star Wars Commander game is canon. Because screw the Rule of Two. Well, the Rule of Two was only what the mainline Sith did. New Republic capital, based on Wikipedia, based on elections to switch capitals. Why would you move your capital? Coruscant is the galactic capital. Coruscant is the capital of the Republic for thousands of years. It's the capital of the Empire. It is the capital.
See,
How long do you think the Starkiller base took to construct? I don't know and don't care. It was just in for the movie, so they're not even going to explain it. I'm
see,
sure.
I feel like
The Death Star took about 3 or 4 years to build.
3 or 4 years. See, my perspective on the politics of this movie, which there weren't enough context with politics, is
You
that
saw someone got taken away.
what?
Constantly the fact that she's waiting for someone. No, someone wasn't taken away. Her parents abandoned her on Jakku. That's what they show.
Okay.
They don't refer to themselves as Sith. I didn't think so. The Empire's Outer Rim. Time for new orders of Sith to arrive. The Sith will be legions again. Yeah, that didn't work out. The whole reason the Rule of Two exists is because of Bane and because how he made the Rule of Two after the Sith were crushed when they were legion in the Bane trilogy.
Wait, Disney said the Clone Wars isn't canon?
Listed as in the canon book Ultimate Star Wars Visual Dictionary. Is that new for the new stuff? Why did Disney say the Clone Wars is not canon? No, the Clone Wars is canon. Clone Wars, Rebels, and the new movies are the canon going forward. Why specifically why you hate the 2008 Clone Wars series? Do you really hate the animation? Do you really hate the story arcs like the Mortis trilogy? Do you hate the characters? I just never got into it, and I don't want to. I think the animation is ridiculous. But so much of what I've heard of that, it's like, oh, it gets good at season 3. A show shouldn't make it to season 3 and then get good. It should be done. It should be good from the start, or like it. Like,
Well, I remember we saw the Clone Wars movie.
yeah, and it was garbage. Yeah, me and Ed saw the Clone Wars crappy movie, and that thing was awful. That's the worst Star Wars movie to be released in theaters, is that movie.
Wait, there was a 2003 Clone Wars series?
Yeah, that one was amazing. That was the one animated by the guy who did Samurai Jack. That was 2D animation.
Oh.
That one is so good. That one makes people look like badasses, and it's amazing. It shows how Jedi can be so badass.
What is he? I also like. I don't like the
We
overly
all know how
cartoonish
Bane looks.
3D
Bane looks
animation.
terrible. I've heard that Bane is in the Clone Wars TV show. Yeah, the Clone Wars 2003 show is amazing. The 2000, it's not canon, yeah, but it's amazing. Canon now is QTPTST 2008 Clone Wars. Prequel trilogy, original trilogy, new trilogy, 2008 Clone Wars, and yeah, and everything, all the books and everything that come out from now on are canon. Rebels, an ATTE can destroy an AT-AT. I'd actually kind of buy that. That's actually not crazy to me. Star Wars 7 would be better if it was about the story of Jason Solo's descent to the dark side. Wouldn't you agree? Or a movie about Rogue and Wraith Squadron. I could argue at least 5 stories from the expanded universe that would have made it better.
A Rogue
Episode 7.
Squadron movie would have been great, or a Wraith Squadron movie, or a movie about just a bunch of pilots and like all sorts of dogfighting and combat.
Back to War, my favorite Star Wars book,
Yeah.
is a Rogue Squadron book. It's literally about how a squadron of X-Wings builds a fleet to take on a Super Star Destroyer and 3 Star Destroyers.
Wow.
They build a fleet. It's the coolest thing ever.
There should have been a kamikaze part when they destroy the Super Death Star, if like in the A-Wing.
Oh
comic.
my god, that would have been... Clone Wars was good, and Asajj Ventress is my favorite character. She was a nothing in the old canon. Like, except for the new TV show, that's the only place... They would bring Darth Maul back. Darth Maul is stated to be alive.
Really? But
Yep.
wasn't he like?
He has spider legs in the TV show. He literally has spider
Wait,
legs.
in the Clone War TV show, they bring back Darth Maul with spider legs.
Yep.
You know, they never really developed
The
Darth Maul as a
lamest
character.
thing ever. It's so stupid. I hate it.
Wouldn't it, you would think?
Good action 2D movie. The ATT was only able to destroy the AT of shot the neck. Well, yeah, that's how you kill an AT-AT, is usually shooting in the neck. Thrawn trilogy movie would be the best. It would have. I say best part of Star Wars. General Grievous. He's like the whole reason Grievous is a threatening badass villain is because of the 2003 TV show. He is so amazing. Back to War. BACTA War is my favorite book. Maybe Timothy Zahn will make a new Thrawn trilogy. No, he won't. They won't do that. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the authors are like, I'm not bothering with the new stuff. So it would be better if they didn't. Shit, can't really interested about post-collect. Yeah, that's the whole idea of this conversation, is that it would have been better if it was expanded universe stuff. Hoping Boba comes back. I don't even care. Thrawn would be an awesome movie. Yep, been there. Moribund. Ugh, so
So
stupid.
Tim, here's a question: do you are you like, have you given up on the new Disney canon? You're just gonna like?
Yeah, I'm just gonna live in the old canon forever, and I don't care.
Is there still gonna be fan fiction of the old canon?
Probably not.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, but I'm not gonna care about it. Remember when Grievous destroyed Jedi? Yep, that's what I'm talking about. In 2003 Clone Wars, Grievous is so amazingly cool. It's so good. The animation is fantastic. Some of it's a little goofy.
I've
but...
never seen this. So do you feel
it's all
like
on YouTube.
Is
You
the
could easily watch
prequel expanded universe better than the prequel movies? Is that a fair statement? Or
Oh
were
yeah,
they-
there's a lot of cool stuff from the Clone Wars. There's a lot of background books and stuff about the Clone Wars that are really
So
neat.
there is a lot of good stuff around the prequels, but
Red
it's
Harvest and
expanded
Death
universe.
Troopers are kind of terrible. They're literally forcing zombies to be in Star Wars. It's kind of lame. Well, somewhat Legends material they might throw in Thrawn. New Jedi Order series is good. Yeah, New Jedi Order, the Yu Zhong Vong, that's what I'm saying. Moribond. Yeah, they got rid of Korriban. It's no longer the homeworld of the Sith, it's Moribond now.
Oh, because they didn't want to call it Korriban?
Yeah, because they're lame and they think that having cool stuff is bad. I think the new films of Star Wars Legends. Yeah, the EU is the real story. The Legends are the new stuff. That'd be hilarious. Click on this link. No, I'm good. No, people try to mesh the canons together. Because Disney said everything is canon from Legends. No, Carl. They said that Legends is gone. They might... It's not that order. It's... Legends is gone, and they might pull from Expanded Universe, but that doesn't mean Expanded Universe is alive.
Oh, wait, so Disney views the Expanded Universe as myths that could
Yes.
be used as story?
They're myths that they could steal from, but they're not canon.
Okay.
Hoping that Boba comes back. I mean, who cares? It's Boba Fett. Like, Boba Fett's a really cool guy, but we're already past his prime. Unless he's Mandalore, it's going to be lame. If he's still a bounty hunter, it's going to be terrible. Show Grievous background on a movie. Why? He's dead. Colorman's Blue Light series based off the Great Scourge of Malachor. I don't know. The Great Scourge of Malachor. I don't know how that... Nope. Renamed that last episodes of Clone Wars Season 6. Yeah, right. In the Clone Wars TV show, actually, the newer show that our terrible movie was based on that we saw. That was... click on that link. I'm good. I'm talking about canon. Starkiller base origin point is where Ilum is. There is no in between. Destroy. There is same place. Old EU Korriban. Like they would ever show a villain background in Star Wars. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. Click on the link. The Old Republic Revan should have had a different ending. Yeah, it should have. Because they just made that ending so that it could fit in with the. I'm fiddling with my headphones. They just made it fit. They just made the Old Republic Revan book fit in with the game because they wanted to do it with the game.
You know, now that Disney has everyone hooked, maybe the next movie should be set from the point of view of the bad guys. No.
Why?
No. Because I love being the bad guy in KOTOR.
Yeah, that I know. Man, I'm trying to think of what we could still talk about, and I'm like finally. I feel like the well is almost dry. Finally.
Do you want to go to raid call?
Sure, we could pop in there for a little bit. See what people are chatting about. All right, so let's pop in some earbuds, so we can both hear these guys and not ruin the microphone. So you can wear.
Now
We
I'm
got
in the
time. It's
mood
only
to
3 o'clock.
watch another movie. Like, we should watch your dad's laser disc of the widescreen New Hope that doesn't have any of the special editions.
Actually, apparently Disney finally announced that they are going to do that. They're going to
gonna
release Blu-rays of those good cuts.
of the non-special
You can-
editions.
here, there
so
you
you
go.
have to give that to Disney, right? They're going to
Yeah.
release
No,
Blu-rays
just put it in.
of the non-special editions.
There we go.
That
All right, so
I
we'll
would
pop
buy
in a
that.
raid call and see what's up. Hello, raid call.
Yes.
Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Hey,
we're
Tim.
we're
Hey,
both
Tim.
finally in here for the live stream.
Yep.
So, does anyone else have anything to break? Has anyone here been watching the whole time?
Hello.
Yes,
No.
I have. Hey, Tim. I love you.
Oh,
It doesn't show us up to me.
I think Disney was
Oh my
Tim
god.
Jong-un watching
So
Tim
much
Jong-un.
noise.
Are you streaming on
VR.
Twitch or
I'm streaming on YouTube.
YouTube.
The
Oh.
doc sucks.
Alright,
Who the hell's
That'd
making
be why I
noises? I'm
can
gonna kill
find
him.
it.
So much noise, can't hear anyone.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, everybody.
And there we go.
Oh,
Why
damn.
was I moved out? I don't know why I moved out.
Syndros, your mic has noises
A fan
in the
going
background.
on.
If you have a fan,
I'm gonna
yeah,
turn
yeah,
my fan off.
yeah, do that.
I'm turning my
That's what it
fan
is.
off. Because I'm hot as hell in this room.
Hi, Tim.
Bro, you don't have
everybody.
Brazil honest.
Timothy.
What?
Timothy's on.
You had Kim Jong-un. In Brazil, you don't know what hot is.
That's the book.
What is especially
so
Boba's
bad.
voice change? Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually think that changing Boba's voice to the Jango Fett voice is a decent move. Because if you're gonna go with him being a clone, then he should have the same voice as his father.
Yes, I agree.
Exactly.
But one thing I don't
you
really
too.
agree with is how stormtroopers in the Empire in the original trilogy can't shoot for shit, but these ones in the new film can actually kill people.
Well,
Apparently
no, they still
brainwashing
can't.
is
I mean,
10 times better.
but everyone makes fun of
Well, they can
stormtroopers,
shoot.
but that's how every movie is. Every movie is always the bad guys. Unless you're supposed to get hit, you're not gonna get hit.
So Finn was pretty good with the
My red ball
blaster,
leg
right?
down.
He could shoot a lot
I
of
will
people.
finish.
Yeah, but
was
like,
just a-
okay,
was a good
yeah, but
guy.
Ray has probably like never
he was
fired
good
a
at
blaster in
killing
her
civilians.
life, and Ray can just walk up to stormtroopers and start one-shotting them like crazy. Like, Ray
That's
can't
the
do
problem.
that. No, what? If anyone has questions, go
Well-
ahead. One palpy,
I got
please
one.
go ahead.
How is
Post
she able
questions.
to mine?
Huh?
I got the question.
No, go ahead.
I got one.
Yeah, go.
How is Rey able to mind trick stormtroopers when has no training in the Force? How is she able to fight Kylo Ren with no
Oh,
training in
J.J.
the Force?
Abrams bullshit.
It was
I
never
mean-
explained.
No,
That's
it's
the
explained.
problem
Let me
with the
explain
film.
to you. I know why. It's because magical bullshit Skywalker genes. If you have the Skywalker gene, you basically are automatically good with a lightsaber and automatically know how to
basically
fuck
God.
shit up.
Well,
with the
actually,
Force.
no.
No.
Actually,
Luke isn't though.
so here's what I would say. I would say that you could argue actually that she might be able to get away with that because she felt Kylo attacking her mind. So maybe being under attack like that, she was learning how like you saw that she was mentally fighting back against him, and
Yeah.
maybe she figures she guesses how to turn that into mind control.
Or maybe she knew Force mind control existed, and
Kylo
she's
just
like,
started
well, let me
her
try.
Force
There's
powers.
no way she knew it existed.
She's like, well, I knew I could say these aren't the
That's a
droids you're
good
looking
point.
for. Everyone knows that story. These
Yeah,
aren't-
maybe
Jim,
she's
who's
heard
the creepy guy
Yes,
next
but
to you?
the creepy guy next to me is one of my best friends, Bane. Jesus, Bane. That's Bane. He's an
Actually,
innocent. Just ignore him. He's crazy. He's crazy and he's French, so don't listen to him. Bane's
Yeah, nobody
You do
likes
not know the
Bane.
Fucking
French
French. Listen to the VR.
Guys.
I never thought about it until now, but like the story.
Silence.
I never thought about it until
Okay.
now, and then gone.
Yeah.
Whoever was talking, their
Well,
mic just cut off
Also,
completely.
the only reason why she could use
Luke had trouble
Force.
learning how to pull the Force.
Wait,
Can I
what?
just
Toad?
mention one thing?
How did Kylo stop a laser?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
shit.
I said at the very beginning of this that was pretty
BS.
ridiculous and
The Force
impossible.
BS.
Magical.
I
J.J.
got out of my
bullshit.
seat and debated if I should just leave.
Really? You disliked it
After
that
After
much
that
that
scene,
you
I
thought
was
about
just like, nope,
walking out?
this
Get
isn't
outta
worth
here.
it.
Bane, you were actually gonna walk out?
Yep, I was like, what? Force
Bane has autism.
Force gripping blaster bolts. Okay, JJ. Okay, you wanna
Okay, you
go?
can force grow energy. Wow.
I mean, it was
Okay.
impressive to see, but I don't know
Yeah.
how.
Impressive
legit
to
it
see,
was.
But, yeah. Much.
Well, here's a question. Okay, who else really liked the movie? I thought it was fantastic.
I
Me.
did.
Yeah, I like
It
it.
was
too.
good.
A lot of people are on your side.
It
Ed.
was really good, but I agree that it like had flaws and inconsistencies. But overall, you
No
have to.
movie is perfect, so
Where the
Yeah.
hell did they get all this
9.
money to fund this new empire from? Did Snoke
Yeah, that's
give all
another
the
question.
money, or all the generals like billionaires or something? I don't know.
Shh, money doesn't matter in
More
Star
likely.
Wars.
They have
Maybe
like
it's
it's-
literally
it was
just
corrupted stuff.
another faction that
Wait,
broke
wait,
up from
guys,
the Empire.
guys. Wait, since the Ganon got changed, did they say that credits are also part of Legends?
No.
No.
They're-
Credits
Oh,
are still
okay,
part
'cause
of
that-
canon.
The one thing,
No,
like-
because they mentioned
like
credits
the
in
most
the
essential
prequels.
thing, like
Yeah.
the BBY dates don't exist anymore. Those don't exist anymore. ABY and
Yeah.
BBY don't exist anymore. The galactic calendar doesn't exist. So
Well, I don't know about that. I would say that they haven't established a new calendar.
just use the
They've-
BBY.
they've
and ABY.
established
It's
the-
so simple.
Like
It's
none of
the
the
calendar
movies.
of the
Like
Force
I
gods.
didn't watch Rebels and Clone Wars, but in those they never. I don't. The movies never mention a new calendar.
Nope, didn't. Not at all. none of the new books or anything like that mentions.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if any of the new books mention a calendar because I haven't read any of them and I never will.
No.
I mean,
No,
they
I don't.
established like the proper dates for events, like the Clone Wars, and between the Clone Wars and the Galactic War is
Do you-
19 years, but they don't say like 19 years before the Battle of Yavin or something like that. They don't
So-
say that.
Someone just posted in the chat. Do you think that Han is dead? Yes. Han is
Yeah,
very
he's
No,
totally
Han's
dead.
gonna come
Oh,
back
of
with
course.
spider legs.
He's dead.
Han,
Very
listen,
small
listen.
thing.
Listen, Harrison
Although
Ford
how's
didn't even
Phasma
want to
alive?
do another Star Wars movie, so
Yeah,
Really? He
didn't even want
didn't?
to join another
They,
No,
like,
one.
made him do it?
For
He's-
decades
no,
he wanted
what?
out. He said
He
for decades
super
he
didn't
wanted out
want
of
to.
Star
That's the
Wars.
question.
I
He
wouldn't be
didn't even want
surprised
the
if
second Star Wars
that
movie.
I wouldn't be surprised if a big part of why Han dies is because Harrison Ford was like, you have to kill me in this movie because I'm not coming back for
For
another one.
decades.
Why didn't Tom want to come back for another movie?
He wanted
Wasn't
to
He
be
didn't
killed
wanna
in
be
episode
Han.
6.
Oh.
He wanted to be killed in episode 6.
Yeah, that's a good point. He
No,
didn't
he
even
didn't
want to.
want
He didn't want to be doing Star Wars back when Episode 6 was new.
He was tired of it. He was like,
Already.
he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
He's not a fan. He's not a fan of his own material, people.
Really? Harrison Ford doesn't like
That's
Star
true
Wars?
dedication.
Sith
You know,
Shrine
he
underneath.
didn't even want to do
Oh my god.
Empire Strikes Back.
Wait, hold on. Zachary just said in the chat, Tim, in the new canon there was a Sith shrine underneath the Jedi Temple which corrupted the Order and clouded them.
Oh my god.
That is such
in the new canon, in the new
nonsense.
canon, the Imperial Palace is
Oh,
in the new
oh,
canon,
no.
the old Jedi Temple is the Imperial Palace, which is dumb.
Wait,
Uh,
The
what?
Jedi Temple is the Imperial Palace.
Palpatine moved
One thing-
into the Jedi Temple.
No, in the old canon,
my shit now.
in the canon,
Anakin,
Palpatine
Anakin, I
did
need
build
you to
his
go
palace
clear out
over the
the
Jedi
temple.
Temple, and that was on purpose
No,
because
but
he was like, I hate
Yeah,
the
but he
Jedi.
didn't actually
into it. He just
didn't, like,
fixed up all the
say-
shit and
He
moved
didn't
into
just
it.
destroy like the spires and say, "Oh, the Jedi Temple doesn't exist anymore. It's now the Imperial Palace." It doesn't make sense.
It's mine now. I'll take it.
It's mine.
I think you can move it. It is good. It is a good game.
My own personal
can see my
room is
house
going to
from
be
here.
where the Jedi High Council met just to screw them.
Oh yeah,
And
Screw these Jedi.
that's what Palpatine was
I just
like.
wanna mention
Palpatine
that-
was
that
super
Finn,
angry.
I'm sleeping where Yoda sat.
Okay, Finn and Phasma are the most underused controversial
Oh,
characters in the
Jesus.
history of movies.
Oh, you guys agree
So
Phasma
underused.
is really controversial because I thought she was just played to be a bitch. And then the way
No,
they-
underused,
I'm saying the controversy was
Guys,
no. Hang on, hang on. Guys, the controversy was created.
So wait, what was the
The
controversy? What was it?
controversy created mass marketing. Something about a female stormtrooper not being canon enough for the fanboys, as well as a black stormtrooper not being canon enough for the fanboys.
Why would that be? No, why would
You know what's
people worry
hilarious?
about that? Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of people saying that it wasn't canon or it was ridiculous. I saw everyone being like, "Oh, all these angry fanboys," but I didn't actually see that many angry
I don't see
fanboys.
why people would care about the race or gender thing. You can totally believe that a stormtrooper is black. Why wouldn't it? Plus, in Star Wars, yeah.
The anti-black stormtrooper thing actually got started like as a joke or something to hype
Yeah,
up
yeah,
people,
yeah.
and it was revealed later to be this big thing, and it actually wasn't. No Star Wars fan gave a shit, but people started it up, and now everyone's like, "Oh, Star Wars fans are racists."
But it was actually a joke to begin
Yeah.
with. Like,
Yeah,
no one
originally
actually
no one
Yeah.
actually was against
Yep.
it. It was troll accounts that
Here's a-
people made on Twitter, and it turned out
Yeah.
to be a total hoax. But everyone was like, Star Wars fans are terrible people."
Well, yeah, that's true because
I think
question
it did good for the marketing for the movie though, because
God
if
damn
you
it.
saw the movie, you were for progressivism or whatever the fuck. And if you know you
Jesus,
like,
babe,
no,
don't
I'm
go
serious.
there.
Like it did good for the movie. The controversy ended up making it have more money and revenue. Like
Are you Empire or First
Yeah.
Order? Well, the First Order is terrible, so of course I'm for the Empire.
I'm for the
I'm part
KOTOR
of the-
Sith
that's
thing.
Empire.
that I
Ed
liked.
wants the KOTOR Sith Empire. There we
That
go.
was who I liked.
Is definitely for the First Order.
I'm for the
'cause
Vitiate Sith Empire. That's what I'm for.
Bane is for the First
All
Order.
hail
'cause he gets to
Valkyrie.
Heil Hitler
But
in
no, wait,
space.
you guys.
Exactly.
What did everyone think of the part where Finn like kidnaps Phasma and says, "I'm in control now. I'm in control now." Like that
Love
scene
that
was
part.
amazing.
so stupid.
What you thought that part was
So dumb.
stupid?
Schizophrenia really came out in that scene, I guess.
Referencing
No,
that
Finn is
scene,
not.
Referencing that,
Finn's
referencing
not.
that scene. Here's a question:
Yes.
How the hell did Phasma escape Like, she gets thrown in the trash compactor. Does she climb out? Does she open that door? And besides,
She beats the
base
shit out of that
implodes.
monster
The
inside and
base
uses it as a
implodes. How the hell
rope.
did you get out?
No, so Phasma had an R2 unit who was her friend who opened the door in the nick of time.
Wait, what?
No,
Oh,
like in the
okay.
she escaped the same way they did in the first movie, of course.
For a second, I was like, wait, is that real?
No, I just but
No,
but
like one thing that we were talking about is like, she may have escaped by like.
Like, she may have had-
No, she did
was a
escape because
commander.
she's
She may
confirmed to
have
be in
the-
episode 8.
but see, so
I mean, she's a high-ranking,
No, like-
like first order commander. Maybe she has a code to every door in the damn.
Yeah,
base.
she was like.
see, I thought they were gonna like
Yeah.
torture
Everything.
Phasma.
Guys,
Well,
here's
we
your
need to
codes
ask
for if you
her
fall
what
into the
the
trash
hell is the
compactor.
no,
If you
guys,
fall
if,
in the trash
Maybe-
compactor, use this code to get out.
Maybe she
That's
survived.
the
I think she survived, obviously, because the plot said she did.
so
Yeah,
guys, if
that's
this were
more
an
what it is,
R-rated, if
yeah.
this were like a
She just
serious
tied that
R-rated war
plot
movie,
armor.
like Finn would have like like
Shot
raped
her in
Phasma. If this were like a
I've
serious,
said
if this
for
were,
years, we need.
if this were like
That's not Star Wars.
Exactly,
Star Wars
but
isn't an R-rated.
But if this were like a really dark war movie, he
If
totally would have
If
raped
there was
Phasma.
rape in Star Wars, there'd be tentacle hentai already. Trust me.
I know. I'm just saying, if this were
Yeah,
like a
those
hardcore
monsters on
war
Han
movie, that's
ship.
exactly what would have happened.
Have you
That's the
seen the
only-
scene where guys?
Speaking
Have
of
you
the
seen the scene where
monsters on
Ren
ship, why is it
interrogates
that they
the
dragged Finn but ate everyone else?
Oh yeah, it's a
Have
good
you-
point because Finn was protected by plot armor. Because those aliens
He
were
got hit with a fucking lightsaber.
also.
I'm still going by
plot
the like the belief that he's completely paralyzed. Like you don't like you can survive. You may have survived a spine slash, but you're not gonna move. There's no way you're gonna move from that.
Wait,
Oh yeah.
Revan
Like you're
Learner
paralyzed from the neck-
in the
from neck
chat. The
down.
fact that
There's
she
no way you're
submits to
moving.
them, it shows that Phasma's a soft side and that she may turn in episode 8. That's totally
No.
not
Phasma's
it.
not going to turn good. Phasma's going to
That's-
get a
she-
ridiculous comeuppance.
Ask the call if they remember. Yeah. So okay, here's a good point. Do you guys remember Finn getting his back cut by Kylo? Does he slash his spine?
Yep.
Yep.
I do.
Okay, I
He
guess I
slices
just
up
didn't
Finn's
remember.
spine.
I just
He
forgot.
slices up Finn's spine. I saw it.
Okay,
You can look
I
on the-
forgot
you
then.
can look up the looker right now.
Actually, the whole movie I thought his name was
shoulder.
Kyle. I was like,
Kyle.
He goes
Does
from
it-
the
oh.
like
Kyle
from the
Ren.
base of the like near the tailbone up to the neck. He's
Oh, wow.
paralyzed. Like
Or
you can see
dead.
where the lightsaber goes, like up the tailbone.
Captain
and go back.
Battlestar. No, Battlestar Galactica survived that show because they were awesome, because they
Yeah.
worked for it.
I
Oh.
don't have much sympathy for a guy who got his back all messed up when, you know, another guy got 3 limbs chopped off and burned and he still crawled down the hill.
Well, 'cause there's
Well,
no
you
force
see,
Fucking pussy! You're a pussy! How dare you say on the
well,
ground?
nobody
Crawl
got
your
their
ass
limbs
out.
cut in the movie, so they had to paralyze someone.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I hate that.
Guys.
Yes, what? Go on.
The one thing
Shut
that
up,
really,
Nick.
really annoyed me in the entire film,
Mhm.
Yes.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
said
yeah.
way earlier in the live stream. I was like, yeah, because Luke is like the thought of Luke's character being like, well, I turned my dad to the light side before he died. I trained a class of Jedi. My one nephew fell to the dark side, and I better just give up forever. I mean,
Come on.
what do I even need to do with the rest of my life? I'm just done.
we don't
Here's
know
what
what
we-
Luke's really
you know
about.
what I
He's
was
going to
thinking?
tell us in the
I've been
next
Yeah,
movie.
like how do you?
Wait, I'm picturing Luke. No, I'm picturing
I
Luke like
got
in
the answer to
retirement,
that.
drinking a martini by the sunset, just like, yeah, the uniform's gone to shit, but I don't care. Hey, C-3PO, hand me another martini.
Oh my
Well, the
god.
thing is, guys,
Haha,
guys,
haha.
I've
well, think
noticed.
about it. The New Jedi Order was only around for like 20 years.
10 years. 10
20
years.
years.
10.
Wait, you mean in the
20
book?
years,
Yeah.
something like that.
20 years because Kylo Ren is 30 in the Force Awakens.
Wow. No, wow.
Well,
Yeah, but whatever it
I've
was, Luke only had a first class of Jedi.
I can never.
It doesn't
Uh,
matter.
Notice
Actually,
that,
Yeah,
like with the
100
whole
Jedi.
Disney decision to destroy the EU for the
Re-
going forward,
remake.
it only contradicts post Return of the Jedi, and even then,
Yeah.
it's 30 years after Return of the Jedi, so you can just put all the events before before the new movie from the old canon. But
No, you
nothing
can't.
Yes.
Before Return of the Jedi
Just get rid of a
contradicts it.
lot of
Nothing
people.
from the old EU. Nothing.
Can I
It
actually
doesn't
say
make
this,
sense.
guys?
Sure. What?
It's not a continuation of the original trilogy. It's a soft franchise reboot.
That's
No.
That's what Jets
well, I mean, it
wanna say.
feels like it is,
Yes.
but it's not. It's still.
It's a co-
It is.
it's a
It
repeat
is.
of episode 4 with a few new bells and whistles.
Well, I mean, that's
all
what it is, but that's not what it's going for. It's supposed to be the start of the new trilogy and keep the story moving.
But it does have the feel of a reboot.
Yeah, it feels like a reboot.
But think about
I
it.
bet in the next couple of
I'll
movies they're
give
gonna
you
have
the plot synopsis.
alien teddy bears.
Okay, the
again.
Jedi Order is destroyed. The galaxy is ruled over by a military dictatorship, and the good guys are getting their asses kicked every Travis turn. What does this smell? Oh yes, The New Hope. What are we going to do in the new films?
Bad guys
new
win
films,
until they don't.
Jedi and Sith training, like Empire Strikes Back, and the redemption at the end of the film, Episode 6.
You think
The one
Kylo's
thing
going to
I
get
can't
redeemed?
stand about these
No.
types of movies.
Yep.
The one thing I
No.
can't stand about these
No.
types of movies.
Yep.
The rebels always have to win. No, like there can
I
be
hate
no
that.
Imperial victories. You can't have a dark Imperial
Just come on.
victory.
Well,
we
no,
have one movie,
you go into the
guys, where we
expanded-
have the bad
People like
guys
us wanna allow-
slaughtering,
people like
raping, and
us wanna
pillaging
allow
all
it.
over.
No, when you
Strikes
want
Back.
More interesting to see what the good guys have to go through after being defeated
gosh.
completely.
if you want Imperial
So,
victories, you have to read the books and stuff like that. But those aren't canon anymore. So the rebels
Yeah,
won
that's the
everything they
problem.
ever did, other than maybe Durar 5.
But didn't the
They lost
rebels lose the Battle of Hoth?
Yeah, the Hoth. That's it.
Hoth?
The Empire Strikes Back. The Empire struck back and won a lot of battles, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Beat the crap out
No,
of
they
the
won
rebels.
a
That's
battle.
what Episode 8's going to be. It's going to
And
be
the Battle of
Empire
Bespin.
Strikes Back, but it isn't the Empire
Battle of
Strikes
Bespin.
Back. It has some new things in there.
No, I think
Well,
now that J.J. Abrams has us in where his first movie kind of like made all these allusions to the first one. Now J.J. Abrams can do whatever he wants because he's got everyone.
Well,
hooked.
no,
He won't be directing the next movies.
He's not doing the
He's
next
only doing
movie.
the first of the sequels.
Yeah.
That's
He's
it.
not doing the
Yeah.
next sequel.
No, there's a different
Ryan
director.
Johnson
Why would
is
they get a
doing
different
the
director?
Guys, we
'Cause
have
he's too
the guy
busy.
who does
They're doing the
Looper.
next two
Oh my
sequels.
gosh.
Oh, who's
That's it.
doing
Yeah,
the
we
next
have
sequel?
Looper. We have the Looper
Is
director.
Chris something? I don't know.
Yeah, some
Let's
no
check.
name director.
Guys,
That Ryan
think
Johnson
about
and Chris
JJ.
something.
Come on, keyboards.
Think about JJ. He's not
JJ lens flares.
directing the
That's the
films,
only thing you
producing
can say
the
about JJ.
films.
Jar Jar Abrams.
Rian Johnson. What did he do?
Let's see. I don't remember what.
Looper.
Wait, no.
That's
He did
it.
Breaking
Lens
Bad, I
flares
think,
can't
and
Looper?
He
still
did Breaking
beams.
Bad and
Looper. What's
Yep,
that?
and that's
It
literally
was this
it.
time travel
Exactly.
thing.
Time travel.
Wow, he
And it
basically
was a
just.
bad movie.
Oh, he's also doing episode 9.
So wait, but
Oh,
the
fuck.
No.
Star who did
No, he's not.
Empire
He
Strikes Back
also-
was done
this
by
is
Erwin
also the
Kishner,
guy-
right? Not by Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick, we need to get
The
Ern
Looper
Kishner to have
guy
an Imperial
also-
victory. Go.
Yeah.
The Looper guy also.
Wait,
at
Tim, look,
a
who
Star Wars
directed Empire
convention
Strikes
said
Back?
that
Was
he
that-
liked some
was-
of the prequel stuff.
I-
So
It was
you know.
because Lucas only directed the first movie. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Let me.
Return
I'll
of
do
the Jedi.
it. Let me find it.
Irvin Kishner. He did a lot of good movies.
Yeah,
Actually.
he did.
Yes, he did.
Someone who said the Old Republic stuff is still canon. It's not canon. They just said it's not contradictory yet, so it's
Yeah. Irvin
you could you
Irvin
could
Kishner.
think of it as canon, but it is not canon. They can
Revan's still
easily delete it.
alive.
They just haven't.
And
They're just
Six
like,
was
oh, we're not
developed
gonna
by Richard
bother going back
Marquand.
4,000 years, so we're not gonna say it's not. So we're not gonna make it not canon, but they could just delete it if they wanted to. So I don't think of
There's
them
another-
thinking of the Old
another
Republic stuff as
aspect of-
canon.
What if they do a crossover between Star Trek and Star Wars, where
Oh my
they
God.
get
No.
they go back in
No.
time
I'm
so
sorry.
far away and
Borg
get
have
transported to the
invaded
galaxy where
Yes,
Star Wars takes place?
have taken over the galaxy.
But
You will assimilate to the Borg.
What if
Star Wars wins every time.
clearly the Enterprise is gonna get chased into a black hole that throws them out into the maw?
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, they did
That
a,
would be so
What mom?
funny yet
Wait,
so
what
fucked
mom?
up.
Plausible. That's a scary thing.
The black hole center of the like the galaxy, the area of the galaxy where it's like nothing but black holes and space stations. There's no planets, but
maw.
yeah, I know. But you said somebody said what maw?
Oh yeah, the maw where the prototype Death Star was by Kessel.
Bane,
That
I
Han
see
made the
why
parsec,
because mom doesn't fucking exist
the
anymore.
Kessel Run in 12
Oh.
parsecs or 14 parsecs.
Yeah, and you know what's so sad? Because in the movies they never
Parsecs.
explain why the parsec thing matters. They just everyone's like, oh, it's a measure of distance. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he say that? Blah, 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 blah. But in the books, they explain why he's able to make it in a shorter distance. He skims. So the whole idea is Kessel's here, and over here is Tatooine, And making the Kessel Run is going around the Maw, which is a giant series of black holes, and going to Tatooine from Kessel. The reason Han makes it closer is because he goes closer to those black holes than anyone else in history, and has enough speed in the Falcon to get through it.
So it takes him less distance.
Yes, that's
'cause
how.
speed and distance are related physics, right?
Yes, that's how. But it doesn't even matter because he says he makes it in 12 parsecs. Because I bet if you drew a straight line from like Kessel to Tatooine, it was like a 9 parsec distance.
Yeah.
Making the Kessel Run is curving out and going around, and that's why it's more parsecs. That's why less parsecs is a smaller radius circle to go around, or a bigger radius circle to go around. That's closer to a straight line to risking more going into the black hole.
Wow.
But the movies don't explain that, and the expanded universe says that doesn't matter anymore. So it's probably still just going to be Han bragging.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Because
a problem
fuck
with
you,
the
Tim, it works.
Yes.
It's
A
beautiful.
problem with
Well done,
the
Tom.
new Disney, like with the canon part, is like the old Republic, the Galactic Republic, and the Old Republic are two separate things. Like they're saying that 1,000 years before the movies, the Galactic Republic was founded, and before that was the Old Republic, even though they should be the same.
No, they are the
It
same
doesn't
thing.
No, but in the new canon they are not. It's not established
What?
that they are. It's not established that it's not confirmed in the new canon that they are the same thing.
Well, they could be
Is
different.
that true?
Yes.
Different
Wait.
regimes.
There's a difference between it
because
not
Darth Vader-
confirming it's the same thing and... Well, actually, in the new canon, the Old Republic stuff didn't happen. Like, the new canon is just the new books and comic books. Battlefront game, I guess, technically, but that doesn't have a story. And the movies, and the 2 TV shows.
And the BB-8 toys.
Well,
And the toy. I'm just joking.
Didn't add a story.
Going back to the thing about Luke
After
Skywalker.
Endor, the new canon has it to where the Empire didn't fall apart because all the military leaders got together, had a council, and considered reforming into a dictatorial republic. And
Yeah,
for some
that's
reason,
the
the new
First
republic
Order.
wanted to go monarchy for a little while.
wow, that's moronic.
And
That
that's
was
the thing
the
is,
one
guys,
that- We're
gonna be
guys,
democratic about our dipshittery.
Guys,
They wanted to
The
make
thing is-
Mon Mothma the freaking queen.
Oh my god.
Oh, I would like Mon Mothma as a queen. Oh, there were no Bothan spies in this.
Yeah, the same Mon. You mean the? Hang on,
Yeah,
you
many
mean the same
Bothans
Mon
died,
Mothma
except
who
there
went-
were no Bothans.
Gee, I wish we still had that Starkiller boy. we wish we could have Starkiller.
That game's not canon.
Starkiller, the most
looking
only
at-
Did you see the
Rebel
Family Guy
Alliance
Star
character.
Wars?
Oh yeah, the Family Guy Star Wars movies are hilarious.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
The other-
looking
the
at
other hilarious,
Old Republic article on Wikipedia
Robot
right
Chicken.
now.
Yeah.
The Robot
This is
Chicken
canon.
Star Wars
Yes,
specials
that
are
was also
all
really
the
good.
funniest thing.
They were really good.
Yeah.
It
They
says
should make like
Legend stories.
yeah. They should make a live-action
Legend
Star Wars
stories
TV
say
show
that
in the new
existed
universe.
for over
They probably will.
25,000 years.
Good.
I
Those
think there's
legend stories
talks
are
of a
not
new
canon,
TV show.
however, and therefore cannot be used to say that the Old Republic and the Galactic Republic are
Yeah,
one and the
they're
same.
doing them for the new movies. They're
That's
doing
so
Robot Chicken for the new Star
lame.
Wars films.
God, why would they do that?
The Galactic Republic.
Wait,
No,
what do you mean they blew
The
up
Old
Jedi
Republic and the
Order?
Galactic Republic are the same thing in actuality, but but the new canon just doesn't doesn't establish that they are.
They don't
In
give a
Legends
shit.
they are,
They don't give
but
a
in
shit
this new
about the new
canon they're not. Like
continuity.
they're two separate things.
That's so
If
dumb.
Disney is going straight
I
movie
hate this new
only
canon.
matters.
It's
Guys,
dumb.
The
guys,
movies
guys,
only
guys,
said
guys,
the Republic was
guys.
1,000 years old. So as far as the movie's concerned, it's only
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
how do you have like a republic a government that's lasted this long?
Well, no.
It
It's
only
been a
exists for 1,000
pacifist
years.
republic for 1,000 years. That's incorrect. It's been a quote pacifist republic for 1,000 years. Technically, there was a republic before. There was a quote unquote republic
Nope.
before that, but it was more military.
It's the same. No.
SWTOR logic.
It's the same
SWTOR.
republic, but what made them pacifists? There's a
Rusan
The
Reformations.
Jedi.
yep.
And the
There you go.
Valorian
I think it's Runan, or maybe Rusan. Rusan Reformations. That's what it
The
is.
Rusan Reformations and the Valorum.
That's still canon.
Wait, the Republic was
Fascist
pacifist, but the
Reformations
Jedi.
are-
No, after so 1,000 years ago, when the Darth Bane trilogy happens, the Republic was at war with the Sith, and the Jedi were basically like generals. And then after the Sith, there was a Sith army, not a rule of two. There were like thousands of Sith,
Yeah.
After they were defeated
Brotherhood of
by
Darkness. As it should be.
Brotherhood of Darkness, they were defeated by the Army of Light and Bane's betrayal to create the Rule of Two. And after that, the Chancellor Valorum at the time, he created the Rusan Reformations that basically demilitarized the entire Republic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But did the
And
Jedi still
that is still
militaristic?
canon.
Or the...
No, the
That is still
Jedi were
canon.
never military.
No,
Well,
they're-
no, they're not anymore.
They were never militaristic.
That makes them not
They're just that
militaristic.
hard.
Okay.
They
They're
created.
mega monks.
Wait, was the
Uh,
original
the
was the
pussy
Jedi
monkeys.
Order was the
Guys,
Jedi
guys,
Order
guys.
were they militaristic in a sense, or were they same? The same
No, it was
concept as
always
they're
the
just-
Jedi. They were never the Jedi. That's what the Yuzhong Vong called them.
No, like the original Jedi, Order name from Tython.
The Russian
I think-
Reformation.
I mean, they
Jedi.
always learned how to use a lightsaber or a similar thing.
Jedi.
Hmm.
Yeah, the thought bomb that killed
This
all
is
the
thing
leaders
is,
of
the
the.
Rusan Reformations are canon.
The Sith.
How?
The Rusan Reformations
What?
are canon.
Are you
In
sor-
the
are
book
you serious?
Aftermath. Guys. The Rusan Reformation
isn't.
is canon because what do they do in Aftermath? Mon Mothma wants to go back to the pacifistical roots of the Republic, so they demilitarize. That's why,
Yeah, but-
you know.
That's why they
That's-
secretly.
that's only
Oh my
implying.
god. So that's how they
Yeah.
get
That's
away
only
with saying they
implying that-
secretly
that-
fund the
because
resistance.
Because they've become pacifists.
But no,
Like it has to.
Hold
it's not
on.
Official.
but that doesn't make
It is.
sense. That doesn't make
How
sense
is it
because they
official? It's
reference the Republic
Republic
fleet
had a
in
fleet,
episode
though.
7. Yeah. In episode 7, they
Yes,
say, we
yeah.
gotta have the Republic fleet.
I think it's all like Syria. There's various militias fighting each other. There should be a third side. There should be the rebellion, the First Order, and then the Kurds and the ISIS
Lord.
and those other groups all fighting.
Oh my
I like groups
But
similar
the
to
Kurds
these.
are fighting ISIS. What are you
Can we
talking
stop making this political, Ed,
The
please?
First Order is
Sorry.
actually one of the
Please, Ed.
Well,
Why?
Star Wars was political.
Calling the Kurds to fight the First Order.
those guys.
Oh,
thing is,
God.
The thing is, though, in the film, they never explain this.
No,
I
Zach,
had
in
to
the
read this in
film, they say that the New
novelizations.
Republic secretly funds the resistance.
Yes,
They specifically
but-
say that in the title
but-
crawl.
What?
Yes, but if you're going into the film, it's like, okay, who's the
Tim,
resistance?
did you like the title
Who is
crawl? Was
First
the title
Order?
crawl worth having?
Of course.
No.
You have to have a title crawl.
No.
Yeah, you have to.
In fact, more movies. should
Plus,
have
I
a
mean,
title crawl
Plus, considering
Oh.
we're 30 years in the future, you kind of need the title crawl.
to give.
I mean, it's
everyone-
it's
canon.
raw.
Okay,
That was when I
fair
started
enough.
already feeling trepidation about the movie when we
'Cause you're-
saw the title crawl and I saw what it said, and I was like, God, most of this burns my soul. But
it burns your soul because like
Yes.
this.
because so much of it was wrong and bad already, like like the title crawl was necessary, but it put me on such the wrong foot.
Wait, Tim,
I mean,
did you, oh yeah,
the movie justified starting off on
Really,
the wrong
'cause-
foot, but
did you see it in IMAX 3D by the
yep,
way?
I did.
Yes.
Oh, I saw it in a crappy ghetto theater. It was awesome.
Yep.
It was $7
I just
a
saw it
ticket.
in a.
Yeah?
I just saw it
Crawl
in a-
told us
Kylo
everything
Ren
we
ghetto.
needed to
Here in
know
a
for this
Cineplex
movie, which was
with
nothing.
The crawl was actually kind of
Yeah.
short. I was like, is that all there is to the crawl?
How many paragraphs was it?
Like 3 or 4 paragraphs. It wasn't
Okay,
that
then it's
long.
pretty average because I think most of them were
Three.
3 or 4. It was 3.
Sweet
I think at most some of the
It was
prequel
3,
ones
but they
were
were
4.
pretty short paragraphs.
Yeah, I think
Like,
at most
4 lines per paragraph.
Yeah, I think the original was
You know
like the prequels are maybe 4.
Wait, did you ever see like there was a Simpsons
what's
episode
funny?
that made fun? Yeah,
Oh yeah, there was.
that made
Everyone's
fun
done
of
Star Wars.
but they made fun of the title crawl that went on
God,
for
yeah.
like a book length or something.
Oh,
Sorry. Oh yeah, wait, sorry, what were they saying?
that's great.
You know what's funny? Like this movie is the same length as Phantom Menace, yet Phantom Menace feels a lot longer than it.
Yeah.
Feels
I'm not gonna lie. I start
more
feeling the length a little bit in the middle of this.
So Phantom Menace had
Oh,
like
yeah.
an epic feel to it to an extent because Phantom
I
Menace
think
did
it-
had a lot went to a lot
Yeah.
more places.
This movie did not feel like a Star Wars movie. It doesn't have that
felt
Star
like-
Wars
no, it
movie
felt like a Star
feel.
Wars
See,
movie.
I
It felt like a Star Wars movie that was playing it safe. That's what it felt
I
like.
Yes.
I specifically said to a coworker after I saw this movie, I was like, "This does not have the magic of Star Wars. I don't feel the magic."
I heard someone say that. Sorry, Tim. I heard someone say that this was J.J. Abrams' interpretation of Star Wars Episode 4.
Yeah,
so
that's-
what I'm gonna
Why
guess.
would you
That's
ever?
what it is. That's essentially what it
If you
is.
if I was an executive who heard JJ say that, I would throw him out. I would be like, you don't get to do that. You can't do
I'd be
that.
like,
I thought it felt magical and it felt like Star Wars. To me, it felt a lot like Star Wars. It had that feel, like with all the music and the cuts and the.
But the music wasn't even that good.
But exactly, it was. They had the old themes and they had the cuts and it had like the interesting bits, like the alien cantina. Like it referenced enough of Episode 4 to make me feel like Star Wars.
I totally did. I everything that made it feel Star Warsy was a ripoff of previous Star Wars.
That's fair, but they did rip off a lot.
I have a question. Did anyone else notice a little bit of KOTOR in there?
What do you mean?
No. Well, Revan,
Like
the
with the whole
Revan,
map
like,
thing and all
mask-
that, having to
mask
search for it and all that.
Having to what?
Oh yeah, the star map. Yeah.
Having to search for like the
Oh.
map to find a specific
Yeah,
destination.
Which was so stupid because all it showed, like, if you actually look at the map, it's
Look
just
it
a
up
yellow
on HoloNet,
trail.
Google.
Like, what does this yellow
Just
trail
go on
mean?
HoloNet and search Google Maps. HoloNet
Yeah,
is your Lord and Savior.
our-
Search HoloNet maps.
Are galactic maps really such a valuable resource? Are galactic maps such a valuable resource that no one has a complete galactic map?
Tim.
Well, no, just like
Whoa, guys.
okay,
guys.
what I can see,
I got the
it's
reason
like
for that. I'll just finish.
well, like okay, the trail it needs an end. They didn't have it. Just R2 have it, which is funny.
And
as
of
fuck.
course, R2 has the perfect square cutout block that BB has missing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
the lightsaber duel between Finn,
No.
Rey, and Kylo Ren. Let's get some thoughts on that.
Did anyone else see Ren's leg get cut off in one of those scenes?
No, I think it was like
I must have missed it.
I didn't
At
see that.
least
Like, I
cut,
like-
but
I do like the
Cut
fact
off?
that,
No.
like, when he's fighting, like,
Oh, that's
his
your
wound, he's continuously pounding his wound to get his pain up. I
Yeah.
like how they reference the fact that Darksiders do that because they use their pain to get strength. They don't reference that any other, like, in the other movies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, get up, come on! Pounding the wound to get pain. Ba-da-da-da.
And I was trying to figure out why did they do that? Why did he pound his chest? What the fuck? I think he went
He's
full
pounding
monkey
his wound
retard.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it's
Use
chest
his
pain.
pain.
I am Gorilla.
Just
I am
balls
Sith
That's how the
Gorilla.
Darksiders work.
I don't know. He's trying to see if he can feel anything.
I was thinking
would
he'd
love
have
if
like
he
a
just said,
device
"Hey,
on his
come on,
heart.
hit me."
Like I need to charge up my heart device. I need to maybe it's like Bane from Batman where he like pushes in some chemicals to go into rage mode.
What do you think about how Kylo Ren always would just get angry and smash things? I love the part when the two stormtroopers walk by and they see
Yeah, he
Kylo Ren.
cuts
And he
like,
just
"Oh."
turns around and
I'm like,
leaves.
Oh, boy, I thought it was
Oh, that was I laughed
like,
like nope.
nope,
But the
fuck
thing
it.
is, though, the
They
thing is,
did.
the thing I didn't like is
And the
when
two
he
Here's
was
the
in the
anger
control
issues.
panel.
Oh, our leader's screwing around.
Yeah, see,
nope,
I-
nope,
I-
nope, I'm getting out of here.
This is our leader.
This
is who we
our
work
leader,
for.
A pissy teenage boy. Really?
Yeah, really. He was
Who has
years
daddy
old.
issues? Who has daddy issues? Who has daddy
no,
issues?
grandfather. Well, no, not grandfather.
Kylo Ren is
Daddy issues.
30
fucking
years
daddy
old.
issues.
Yeah,
He has
Kylo Ren
more
is 30
daddy
years
issues
old.
than Anakin.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, Anakin never had a father,
Wait,
so.
guys, I heard from somewhere that saying like that Plagueis was technically Anakin's father.
No.
I
No.
was like, what the actual fuck? Because like Plagueis
It's
is
essential. The Force is his father, and Shmi is the mother. The Force impregnated her. That's essentially what.
yeah,
that
no,
is.
like Plagueis kind of manipulated the Force to make her
Anakin
pregnant.
Skywalker's Jesus.
No, Revan is Jesus. Revan is Jesus.
Plagueis
Shut up,
and
Meg.
Sidious were
Revan is space
seeding the
Jesus.
galaxy with the dark side.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
counteracted
Revan.
it.
All hail Darth Revan.
guys.
All hail Darth Revan.
The Revan.
Oh,
All hail
All hail
Darth
Supreme
Guys.
Leader Snooky. Snooky. Supreme
Me-
Leader Snooky.
Revan. Snippy.
Me and Ed have been going for over 2 hours, so I think me and Ed are gonna head out and end the stream.
Okay, next movie. I'm going to whenever Snook appears, I'm going to say.
And raid call's closed.
Sorry.
It was just too much noise. So we can take these out. All right, everybody. We just backed out a raid call. I am starting to lose my voice from talking for so long.
Yeah, I'm really thirsty.
Yeah, I'm pretty thirsty too. So we're gonna head out. I hope everyone enjoyed our very long, very rambling, back and forth discussion review of episode 7. I'm sure there's always more to talk about, but I hope everyone enjoyed this discussion. If you missed any of it, I highly recommend going back and watching it. I think it went really well. I think that was a lot of fun, right, Ed?
That was a lot of fun. I think there's still a lot more to discuss. We still need to ask all our friends what they thought and have those long discussions. So
I'm sure this is not the last we'll be talking
there's
about.
a lot more to be said.
I'm sure we're not done talking about episode 7.
Particularly, again, different perspectives. I still think my brother still holds a well. I can't wait. I really think the next one's going to be good. I think they're going to attack Voldemort, and there's going to be like a big battle, and maybe they'll go in a different direction.
I think regardless, we are going to head out. So thank you everyone for watching. May the Force be with everybody. Thank you very much. It's always good to hear.
Have a great evening, everybody.
All right, thanks everybody. We are going to go and keep posting your comments on the Twitter and Facebook. I'll keep responding to them, but feel free to go back and rewatch it and leave more questions in the comments. I'll definitely answer questions in the comments, things like that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.